Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is following Yahshua. There we go. Got that streak off of that. Welcome again to the Rock. Welcome to everybody. You Hayden, Shabbat Shalom. It's almost Shabbat Shalom, but Shabbat Shalom. Monty Great from Yah TV, Shabbat Shalom. Jakar 3, my brother, Shabbat Shalom, brother. And to your house, Shabbat Shalom to you and your house. Brother Johnny Smith, Shabbat Shalom. Sorry, brother, for not being able to answer your phone call. I was, at the time you called, I was literally hanging off the roof. Literally. But I will get back to you, brother. I definitely will get back to you. Sister Lisi, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Come here. Come here. It's the badger. Say hi, badger. Rashana Israel, wife of John P. Johnson. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Simply Hebrew-ish. Shabbat Shalom. Brother Stephen Wilson. Shabbat Shalom. Womanati. Shabbat Shalom. Brother Dope Law. Shabbat Shalom. Redbeard's Racing. First, thank you so much, Brother Redbeard, for all your daily texts. I actually greatly appreciate them. I love just seeing what's going on with you, and also the information you send me is crucial. So thank you so much, brother. Shabbat Shalom, Brother Redbeard. You can see it? Well, whatever. Sister Angela, Shabbat Shalom to you, your head. Bless you, sir. I honor you. Shabbat Shalom. Hannah Bain, Carrie Bain's Isha. Shabbat Shalom to the house of Bain. My brother Carrie and the sister Hannah, Shabbat Shalom. Amelia, Salt and Light Gypsy, Shabbat Shalom. There you go, bud. There you go. He's like, yeah. Sister Cheryl Bright, Shabbat Shalom, sister. That's it. I know, now you threw a fit. Now you yeah, I'm good.
I wonder why. Shabbat Shalom.
Sister Colleen, Shabbat Shalom. What, I'm daddy? Oh, I'm daddy. You're just so fat. I mean, that double chin is amazing.
Yeah, you talking about your double chin.
Chubby. Can you bring me a handkerchief, please? I'm sweating. Sweating. Oh, it's a sterile. He was looking at you. Mayor. Oh, now he's getting. Oh. Yeah, no, no, your hands are cold. Your hands are cold. Your hands are cold.
Give me kisses.
Give me kisses. There you go. Thank you. Oh, hallelujah. 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 Uh-oh. Somebody mad. Sister Natalie West, Shabbat Shalom. 6:06. We'll probably give it another 4 minutes before we get started. It is not my plan. Zen exploration, Shabbat Shalom. You getting mad?
Yeah. You were all peaceful, huh?
Sister Tanya, Shabbat Shalom. And to your head, Brother Jean Paul. Bless you, brother. Shabbat Shalom. It's not like saying hungry. That's exactly what it is. And just like that, he's silent.
Sort of.
Joe Lopez from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Shabbat Shalom, brother Joe Lopez from Puerto Rico. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Hallelujah. Sister Tanya said, yes, babies have different cries. See, when they cry, I hear the same thing. I don't hear the difference. We're going to call the children in, do the commandments, and we're going to get started. I don't want to be long today. There's so much going on in this world. And, you know, I had like 5 videos planned this week. And I didn't get to, I think I did one. I think. Did I do one video this week? I think I did. I did one this week, and I had the intention of doing like 5, you know, different things. It's just the information that's coming out. And for those who don't know, I work in the medical field. I'll leave it at that. I work in the medical field, and I work directly with doctors, nurses, obviously the house charge APRNs, unit charge nurses, and this thing went from a, when I was talking about it at first, everyone was like, yeah, right, whatever. Yeah, every year they say, yeah. Now people's eyes are starting to, oh, now something want to come and ask me questions. So, Chris, you were mentioning that coronavirus? Yeah. No. So, yeah, what do you think about it? Money, where you going? You wanna go? Okay, go. You just want to sit here. That's that. What is that? So now everybody's interested in this thing, you know, and it's. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer before I hit that, but it's sad with the fact that we have the Bible right in front of us. I'm sorry if I look tired. I am. I'm extremely tired. Worked a long shift, came home, I took a nap for I think 2 hours, and then it was back outside getting things done, which is usually how my Fridays are. Just sometimes I take a longer nap. I just felt a pressing in my spirit that I felt things in my spirit that don't, it's not right. It's not right. Not like a discomfort or anything like that, but something that's just, you realize, okay, yeah, it's time. It's time. For those that have refused to make the changes, I don't know what to say anymore. Money, get off the couch. Money. Oh, you okay? You okay? You're not? Up, son. Up. All right, children, come on. There you are. We're going to do the commandments and we're going to get right into it. Oh, dang. Y'all got dressed? Where's Mackie? He's out. He was outside. We brought him in for Shabbat, and apparently he's like, nap time. Okay, well, listen, we're about to do the commandments. I'm gonna get off the screen so that they got all dressed up for this occasion. Getting all dressed up. Let me get off my raggedy butt off camera. All right, go ahead. One has got grass in his hair. That's hay? Yeah. They were playing in the hay today instead of getting the hay. I hope y'all heard that. All right, Putty.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you say it loud so that people on the stream can hear it. Get it.
And y'all spake
All
all
these
these
words,
words, saying, and y'all him, which have brought y'all land of Israel, and out of the house of slavery. Thou shalt not else before me, thou shalt make unto thee any image, any likeness of anything, that is the hand of God, or the earth beneath, or in the waters under. Thou shalt bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. Thou shalt Elohim Yahshua, business of fathers, my children, to the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, to show mercy to the last of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh Elohim in vain, for thou not calling guilty to his name in vain. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh Elohim. And thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger within thy gates. For in 6 days thou made heaven and earth, the sea, and all the men of men. That's the Sabbath day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day, and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that the days may be long upon the land, which Yahweh Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet the neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet the neighbor's wives, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his oxen, nor his assets, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Amen. Hallelujah! Praise Yahweh! Glory! Hallelujah! Praise Yahweh! Glory!
Glory.
Glory!
Glory. Bye.
Say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Got my butt out here. I'm
Money,
gonna sit up.
you go with them. Go watch.
He got out his
Go.
sadness all of a sudden.
All right, move, buddy. Not playtime. Move. You're not going? Okay, fine. Stay with me then. Put my phone up. I got it. Go ahead, you go first. Yeah, I tried to buy this little man off and send him away, and he's not falling for it. He's gonna stay right here. Apparently. Are you gonna stay right here? Oh, whatever. Whatever, man. Whatever. see. Shabbat Shalom, Brooke, wife of Johnny Smith. Shabbat Shalom, Justin Monroe. Shabbat Shalom, brother. Shabbat Shalom, Shane Bristow. Monty Great from Yah TV. Oh, wait a minute. I already said Shabbat Shalom to you. Jasmine Fly, Shabbat Shalom. Ronnie Rainier, Shabbat Shalom. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah, we're missing our son, our other son. He wasn't here. He usually, him and my youngest daughter usually started off. There are worship leaders because they'll get some worship in and they'll blow adults out of the water. When they get to worshiping, they be jumping around. I mean, they really get into it when it comes to worshiping the Father. No, I don't own a diesel truck. I know it's hot in here. They've been burning this stove today. They were cooking on it, and I guess after they're done cooking on it, they decided to cook everybody else too. It's hot in here. Naomi Israel, Shabbat Shalom. There you go, bud. We're waiting for Rivka to come back in. Ain't that right, baby boy? Anthony Glover, Shabbat Shalom. Again, I apologize if I sound tired. I am. But also, this time is it's a great time of thankfulness, but it's also a great time of some deep thought. You read it in Corinthians where it talks about the Passover, that you are to examine yourself before the Passover. If you examine yourself, then nobody else can examine you and judge you. So we're just at that time right now where things are going bad. And the thing that amazes me the most is the lack of Shabbat Shalom, Jan. I'm gonna get this wrong. Forgive me if I do, sister. Jan Francisci. I tried. I'm sorry. Shabbat Shalom, sister. Shabbat Shalom, Foxworth for Yah. And Shabbat Shalom, Queen Frugalista. Shabbat Shalom. It's disturbing. Hold on, Nani. You gotta be quiet, son. It's disturbing that those in the faith have taken, and it seems continue to take, such an apathetic, docile, lazy approach to almost anything. When it comes to doing anything about anything, it seems they don't do anything. They just kind of sit, and then once calamity knocks at their front door, then they want an answer, and they get upset at people for not giving them an answer. And I'm like, the whole point of come out of her, my people, the whole point of this is not to wait to the last minute. We have so many people who have like the thief on the cross ideologies, which is, I'm gonna wait to the very last minute. Yeah, baby Badger, he's about to fade out. A lot of people have the ideology of, I'm gonna wait till the last minute, and on the last minute, I'm gonna jump on the ark. And the last minute, I'm gonna make this move. On the last minute, and we know Yah has extended His mercy and His grace, and in His Word, He gives so many warnings. I mean, literally, in this faith today, we have people, watchmen, who are actually watching, who are actually trying to give the information out so that people can be ready for these times. We read about plagues in the Bible. We read about them. We read about pestilence in the Bible. We read about it. But it seems like it only remains words on a page until calamity hits. Once calamity hits, then it becomes Oh, now I want to do something. Now I want to make a move. Yet the Bible gives so many principles, be like the ant. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. When you look at an ant, you know that it's going to prepare. It prepares for a time. Redbeard's Racing, thank you. Oh, Mr. Jan. Okay, forgive me. Forgive me. Bless you. Forgive me. Okay, Franceschi. Okay. But it's a concern when I see people just they maintain such a passive spirit. I mean, they'll get super aggressive when it comes to that one thing that they want to talk about. They'll get super aggressive when it comes to that. But then when it comes to something that's going to save your own life, it's like, well, I'll pray about it. I'll pray about it. I'm looking at them like, right, we do pray about it. In fact, wisdom says, oh, let me turn. Wisdom says that you should see these things and prepare for them. Instead, we see them and we say, I'll pray about it. Well, you should pray about it. Pray that Yah gives you the wisdom to deal with this thing. But it doesn't just mean sit there and wait for somebody else to give you an answer. Wait for somebody else to make a way where you could just hop on. Because then when it's too late, it's too late. This sickness right now, and then we got the next thing that it's so annoying. And I'm sorry, I gotta speak on this. We have the conspiracy theorist Israelite who is so conspiratorial. Everything's a conspiracy. Everything they have to go out there and try to break it down to the 10th degree, and yet they've made no moves. That's number one. Number two, they have no facts to actually back up what they're actually saying. I had somebody send me this long diatribe of an email trying to prove to me that it's 5G doing this. And I'm like, okay, well, here's my question to you. Whether it's 5G, whether it's 6G, whether it's G unit, whether it's OG, whether it's any of those G's, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? And I watch Shane Bristow. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Shalom and thank you. And I sat back and I just wondered, like, we're spending all this time, flooding our Facebook, what do they call that? Your timeline. Thank you. Your Facebook timeline with conspiratorial stuff. And I'm like, but is that beneficial? Is that helping anybody? Whether it's 5G, the lab in Wuhan, whether it's people eating bats, I don't care. I'm trying to preserve my family. I'm trying to take care of my family. The rest is just talk that I'm not interested in. What are you doing about it for the saving of your family? That should be the focus. I mean, how much do we have to see? How much do we have to look and see and say, wow, things are happening around us before we get up and make a move? We read in James, be ye doers. Do something. And we don't. Right. As Sister Angela said, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. It's coming here. It's here. And people are still batting around. It's 5G. The 5G. The 5G did it. I'm like, oh, whatever. Okay, great. What are you doing about it? And that seems to be where we all get caught up at. We like studying the Bible. We like conspiracy stuff. People love conspiracy stuff. Love conspiracy stuff. It's like they get so caught up in it's like a spiritual thing. They question everything, which is a good thing. You question stuff. But then they get so deep into questioning things that they start questioning themselves. Right, Sister Rashana. Is 5G going to feed your family and protect it? That's right. Are you going to tap into 5G and make a laser or something? Otherwise, it's just another thing that it seems like the father. It seems like that's not the father of lies. Definitely, it seems like the father of lies, the devil, has spent so much time pumping information into those that are believers. So much information into it that they are no good because they're just piled up with information. They're like walking dictionaries, but can't use any of the terms for anything. Amelia, bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, focusing on the wrong things. That's right, Sister Tanya. They focus on the wrong things, and their minds are gone. When you read the story of Joseph, the stories in Jasher and the story, in Genesis, I don't see Joseph pontificating about what caused this great famine. Joseph went and found the answer. Yah gave the answer. He gave Pharaoh a dream. He gave Joseph the ability to interpret, and bam, the answer. It seems like people in the faith today are so concerned about discussing the question over and over and over and over and over and over. All we do is discuss the question, but where's the answer? Where's the answer? Because in reality, we don't know where it came from. I don't care. Unless you were there, we don't know where it came from. But see, this lets me know how our judgments are so easily affected in the faith. We don't know where it came from, but yet people are posting about it as if they know for a fact. And I'm like, you're actually you're not a good witness, and you're a terrible judge, because you're reading what somebody else posted. And that person heard it from somebody else, and that person heard it from somebody else, and that person heard it from somebody else, and that person knows somebody who used to walk the dog of the person who lived next door to that guy whose cousin played in the baseball team and the basketball team, who used to date, and their father's a scientist. And he said it. And I'm just like, y'all are listening to this? You're listening to it, and you're pushing it out there to other people as if, get out of my house.
No.
They're pushing it to other people as if it's fact. And I'm just like, so this is all it takes. This is all the devil has to do nowadays to get somebody to make a conspiratorial thing so conspiratorial that our minds will be focused on that instead of figuring out what are we going to do about it. Great. What garden, what provisions do you have for the preparation of this thing? And not just this thing, the bigger implications of this thing are the economic effects of it. The economic effects are even scarier to me than the virus itself. The economic effects of what's going to happen if these, CDC just elevated their warning system to the highest level. What does that mean for the average person who sits back and says, dang, that sucks? Well, let me go back to eating my bonbons and sitting on my couch doing nothing. And that has largely become us in the faith. Because that same action that we have, we don't, there we go. Yes, Burning Hearth Homestead, welcome to the channel. Are you gonna? I don't know. And I'm watching people and I'm listening to people, and they're just talking. Everybody's just talking. And I'm like, this is the faith. And they know that one thing that gets me more upset than anything is somebody who just sits back and talks. Let me see it. When I look at the greatest, influential men on this earth, Yahshua HaMashiach, guys like Malcolm X, William Wallace, even some of these leaders in some of these other countries, who are able to influence people. People follow strength. They follow doers. Now, it's just like who can amass the most information. And that's the person that we want to hang around. That's the person that we believe because they have all the information. What are they doing with it? What are they doing with it? So that's my question. See, the old paths that we see in the Bible speak. And if you actually had cleaved to these old paths, things like this, you look at it, you're like, okay, well, I'll stay on my land then. No biggie. I'd like to be here more anyways. They'd love to have me home more anyways. So this is perfect. I can stay home and focus on the things that I'm doing here. Building, growing. I can focus on being with my family. I don't have to run out there like a chicken with my head cut off. Running to the, our Walmart was almost out of canned soup and rice today. Funny thing how everyone wants the last minute. Right, been preparing for 10 years. That's right, brother. Everybody's at last minute. When trouble knocks at their door, then we want, it kind of reminds me of the same ideology of people and firearms. I don't want to do anything to protect myself. What I want to do is when I hear a bump in the night, I want to go and grab my phone and call the cops. And whenever they arrive is when I'll be rescued. When you can take and have the ability to protect yourself. So I see a lot of people talking right now. A lot of theories being posed as facts. You don't know it's a fact. Yeah, he's that right here. They're not facts. But yet, there are so many in the faith that are posing these things and presenting these things as facts, even though they don't know. That's a shame. That's a shame. That something can be presented as fact, even though we don't actually know it's true. That just goes to show our weak nature and our willingness to believe anything that we already kind of want to believe. The reality is you already want to believe that thing, so you're finding research that justifies your belief. Okay. I got you. So we're going to dive into the word a little bit. You put him down? Did I put him down? Just 1 second. We're going to get him to bed. They were outside playing, rolling in the hay, destroying my hay bales. Having fun. I'm content with that. Hey, I don't mind. This beats having him tired because he destroyed my hay bale is a lot better than having him cooped up in the house and he can't go outside because there's thugs and gangsters and stuff that I don't want him to see. I'll take a destroyed hay bale. I can go buy another one. I just said, hey, listen, that's y'all hay bale now. That's y'all one you playing with. I'll take that. Let's go to the word. Let's turn to Jeremiah chapter 5. Jeremiah chapter 6, excuse me. Jeremiah 6. Thank you, Sister Pamela Malroy. Thank you. They keep us busy. And that's just another thing, you know, when I look at these children and I see what's going on in this world, it makes me think like, if I don't take the precautions to take care of my family, then I'm worse than an infidel. I'm worse than an infidel. If I can see this and not do anything about it. If I can see that my children need to eat, I don't want to have to go and bring a sickness back. So I have to take the precautions and make sure I have the provisions for them to be safe. The Bible says, to much is given, much is required. If Yah gave me this wonderful family, then he's requiring much from me to take care of this family. You know, everybody. This is the thing. Everybody wants stuff today. Everybody wants. I want this. I want 8 children. I want 4 helpmeets. And I'm looking like, that's awesome. You want all that, but yet you are unable. You can see things like this coming and just sit back and be like, oh, okay, whatever. We'll be all right. Hey, babe, we'll be all right. I'll pray about it. Jeremiah. Shalom, Watchman Awakens. Monty Great from Yah TV. Thank you. Shalom and thank you. Hallelujah. Thank you. Thank you. Right. They do. They want it selfishly. As the Bible says, they want to consume it upon their lusts. That's why they want it. They ask and they do not receive because they want to consume the thing that they receive upon their lust. They want it for a lustful reason. And not lustful like people hear the definition of lust, you know, you're lustful for this and lustful for that. But it's a vain reason. It's an empty reason. There's no depth to the reason why they want this thing. They just want it. Kind of reminds me of the people that go and buy a fast car or a fancy car. Why are you buying that fancy car for? Do you need it? Well, no, I just like it. Okay, but why? Well, I just like it. I want it. And why did you spend $5,000 for your rims? Because I wanted them. But why? I mean, even if the person came to me and said, I paid $5,000 for my rims because the purpose of me buying this car is to get the attention of women, because I want the attention of women so that I can then meet my need for sex. If that person said that, I'd be like, cool, you gave me a reason. At least you gave me a reason. Even if your reason is completely off, you gave me one. You at least know why you did it. But there are other people that just do stuff, and they don't know why they're doing it. They don't ever know why they're doing it. They just do it. Jeremiah, can you put the incubator next to the stove? Jeremiah chapter 10. Sorry. Jeremiah chapter 6. Starting at verse 15. And I'm reading it from the New Revised. Just walk around. Hold on 1 second. We're moving our incubator. What was that? 6:15. They acted shamelessly or shamefully. They committed abomination. Yet they were not ashamed. They did not know how to blush. So this is referring to people who sin. Who sin. Just put it on the floor next to it and it'll heat up quickly. And put the lid on top of it. Who are in sin, and people act shamefully. They commit abominations, but they're not ashamed of them anymore. People are not ashamed of their sin anymore. What this virus shows me right now is that this is a ample, perfect opportunity for people to start some serious repentance. To start repenting and saying, you know what, Father, forgive me. Are people going to do it? Probably not. Forgive me, and then turn from that action. Turn from the actions that you have done that were against Yah. Are people going to do it? No. They're not awake. They're not awake to that thing. Therefore, they shall fall among those who fall. So because people refuse to repent, they're going to fall along with the other ones who are falling. At that time, I will punish them. They shall be overthrown, says Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh, stand at the crossroads and look and ask for the ancient paths, where the good way lies, and walk in it, and find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk in it. So Yah's telling them, hey, go after the ancient paths, seek after the ancient paths, find the ancient paths, and walk in them. And the people said, no. No. Also, I raised up watchmen for you. Give heed to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not give heed. So Yah gave them, he said, look for the old paths, pursue them, go after them. And I'm giving you watchmen who are sounding the alarm for you to start doing something, and you heard it and didn't want to do anything about it. Therefore, hear, O nations, and know, O congregation, what will happen to them. Hear, O earth, I am going to bring disaster on this people, the fruit of their schemes, because they have not given heed to my words. And as for my teaching, they have rejected it. And all over this Bible, we're told to repent. All over this Bible, we're told to follow Yah's ways, to keep the law, to keep his law. And people are constantly turning from it. We're told to pursue the ancient paths. We pursue the newer the path, the harder we go for it nowadays. We go for the new paths extremely hard, and we look at the old paths like, well, I don't want to do that because that's going to make me stand out. That's going to make me look different. I'm so assimilated to this world, even though I was told to be separate, even though I was told what fellowship can I have with it, I'm so ingrained to it today that I can't get my mind out of it. Even if my body wants to remove itself, I can't get this out of it. So even if I were to leave, I'm going to bring everything there with me out here. I'm going to bring, I'll leave the city, but I want to bring my same whoredoms, my same idolatry, my same adultery, my same tail bearing. I want to bring all that. Yeah, Deuteronomy 28. Yeah, absolutely. I want to bring all that wickedness with me out here. But because I'm out here, I'm set apart. No, you're still wicked. And that's like taking your adulterous woman with you to church. I'm clean because I'm in church. No, you still have the adulterous woman with you. That's like making an idol and carrying it with you to church. Sit your idol right next to you in the pew. But I'm clean because I'm in church. Why do you have an idol with you? Well, I'm clean now. No, you're still filthy. You're still filthy. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to this thing. I mean, this thing's in 60 countries now. 60 countries. Here's some other things I thought were kind of interesting. The shelves in Hawaii are going bare. Benyan Gavri Israel, Shabbat Shalom, brother. Obviously, the stock market is taking a crap. This thing is taking a humongous crap. It's just going down. It's just like watching it like, wow. Wow. This is insane. A dog in Hong Kong was positive for this very strain of coronavirus. What? Somebody's Fido got sick. People who recover are coming down with the virus again. One woman recovered from it, stayed in isolation, and came down with the very same virus. I think they said 14 days after she overcame it, she was back with the virus again. These are some astounding numbers. Now, is it going to provoke anybody to move? You see, this is why the ancient paths, Yah has always told us to pursue the ancient paths. Go after those things of old. Because the things of new aren't working. How much more do we have to go into this to see it hasn't worked? Modern agriculture does not work. Individual and community agriculture has always been the answer. We pass off the responsibility on somebody else. Hey, you grow my food. I'll go and I'll work so that I can go and buy your food. Instead of, I just grow my own food. I'll grow it. Well, you won't be able to eat this, this, and this, and this, and this. Well, you know what? I probably don't need those things in my diet anyways. I probably don't need Buffalo Ranch flavored Doritos in my diet anyways. It's probably not good for me, considering when I turn the bag over, I can't pronounce 90% of the words that I read in the ingredients. Perhaps I don't need all these things that I've been so accustomed to having. So maybe I should learn to make my own spaghetti sauce, my own salsa, my own chips, which means I got to grow my own potatoes. But these old paths sound so old because they are extremely laborious, and we hate labor. People hate laboring. I know some people that said that they don't ever want to sweat. I'm like, so you're like a pig then. If I have to sweat, I just feel so awful. So you want to be like a pig and keep all your toxins inside of your body. It makes no sense. It's maddening. Let's turn to Romans chapter 12. Romans 12. Romans 12, 1 and 2. Israel stream, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Romans 12, 1 and 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yah, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy. What does holy mean? What does the word holy mean? Set apart. So he wants your body to be a living sacrifice, set apart, and acceptable unto Yah, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds, that ye may prove that what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yah. Be not conformed to this world. The word conformed in this instance is the Greek word 4964. And it means to conform one's self, one's mind and character to another's pattern, fashioning one's self according to. So when you are conforming your mind and character to another's pattern, the world's pattern, which is what you're told not to do, you are estranging yourself from Yah. You are to be not to be conformed. You are not to be conformed to this world. The word conform in the dictionary says to be or act in accord with a set of standards, expectations, or specifications, to act often unquestioningly in accordance with traditional customs or prevailing standards. So that's like this world has a set way they do things, and you, without ever questioning it, just hop on board and start doing it without ever asking the question, why? Daughter of the Most High, Shabbat Shalom. So you can see, okay, I can see that things are taking place on this earth. I can see that people are suffering from how they eat. But I'm going to conform to that way of eating because they've shown me how convenient it is to not have to prepare my own food or cook. So I'm going to eat like them. The problem is that when you conform yourself to this world, you also receive of the consequences that they receive. If you conform to this world's standard of marriage, you're going to receive of that 70 to 80% divorce rate. If you conform to the way you spend money, the way the world says spend money, you're going to receive the consequence of debt. Therefore, if you conform yourself to all this modernization, this new stuff that they keep pushing on us, you're going to receive of it. You're going to receive of the consequences. And I know I'm not saying that modern technology, I'm not one of those people. I have a cell phone. We have several cell phones. We have tablets. But what I am saying is, like, for instance, what is one of the things that cell phones, tablets do that's a blessing, but also it's a curse? And I'll say, for one, these streams, they are a blessing, and they are also a curse. Just wait. They're a blessing because it allows us, yes, information. It allows us to receive information, impart information. It allows us to, I don't even like calling it fellowship. It allows us to meet technologically. Through technological means, it allows us to meet each other, I guess you could call it. But see, then there is a curse. There's an abstractness. That, Sister Colleen hit it. Is it true information? Because we have these means, we are also given the opportunity to dive into 25 different types of information. And out of that 25 types, there may only be one right one. So at your fingertips, you have information. But guess what? At your fingertips, you also have porn. At your fingertips, you also have these sex meetup websites where you can put yourself out there and meet somebody in your area in less than 24 hours to have sex with. Using these medias, the increase of fornication and whoremongering is at an all-time high. The objectification, the wickedness, the sin. I don't like the word fellowship in regards to using cell phones and technological means. I believe in fellowship. I love the word fellowship, but I love the true meaning of the word fellowship. And when I look at the true meaning of the word fellowship, I don't see the true meaning of the word fellowship being over the internet. I see fellowship being next to each other, being able to look in each other's eyes, being able to break bread with each other, being able to work with you, being able to sweat with you. Not just the idea of, or praying together. Because the idea that somebody can lose fellowship by the sheer fact that they don't pay their cell phone bill makes it hard for me to say we're actually fellowshipping. If a storm went out and cables were cut, and now suddenly you're not able to fellowship with each other, that makes it to me like very abstract. And I'm old-fashioned in that sense. Right? Yes. I like that. Burning her. I like that. I like that. I want to copy. If I can, I would like to copy that, brother. Brother Myron. Shalom, brother. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Online is for the nation. Fellowship is for the tribe. Online is for the nation. Fellowshipping is for, I love that. That is excellent. I'll make sure I credit you, brother. I'll make sure I credit you because that is good. But people have neglected now, and we neglect the gathering together. We neglect coming together now because we have this. Here's the problem, though. this has also made it where we don't need each other like we actually need each other. We don't see it anymore where we need to be around each other to help each other. We see it now, hey, I can meet every 6-day night or 7th-day night and every 1st-day night and every 3rd day and fellowship. And I just don't see that as fellowship. Right, there's no community, and there's not a lack for, I mean, there's not a need for community anymore because everybody has their, hey, I'll just tune in. So that stops people from making the physical move because I'll just tune in. But then when things like this, when calamity starts coming, we're like, okay, crap, now I need to make the move. Where do I go? How do I get there? But see, because we've had this, we let complacency set in. So yes, it is a beautiful thing. We're able to disseminate information. But I use the internet for information gathering. I gather information. And the hope is people will come together because we can see, I just don't know if I mean, look at your current situation. Do you want to go through it by yourself? Let's say they said, we're quarantining. Let's just say they said that. It's now mandatory quarantine. Do you honestly, can you honestly say, now some of us can, but can you honestly say, I'm in a position where I can be quarantined in my house for 2 months without having to leave? And I have the protection. And I have the means of caring for myself. Right. That's right, Sister Angela. People can be real fake behind a keyboard or behind a computer. They can. There you go. That's what, Sister, I'm glad you put that because I was thinking about that verse. Let's go there. Hebrews 10:25, which is right before my favorite, one of my favorite verses. All right, we're going to keep it in context. Hebrews 10:20. We'll start at 22. Let us hold fast. Let us hold fast the profession of our hope without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more, as you see the day approaching. And that's why I just have it's my personal opinion. I have a hard time calling what we are doing actual real fellowship because honestly, I don't know what even most of you even look like at all. And I do believe that a level of abstractness has been brought into fellowships and people due to this. I mean, back when they wrote this, the assembling together, it wasn't about let's assemble via our phones or assemble via our computers. It was actually physically assembling. How do you lay hands on the sick without assembling? How do you help each other in a physical way without the assembling? That's why when I talk about the old paths, I talk about really like the old paths. Like doing things that way. I mean, would you brothers be okay with, I'm gonna go there. Would you brothers be okay if you took a wife and you never met her and you all had internet sex? We had internet sex, so we consummated our marriage via the internet. Would that be okay? Would you see your marriage as legit if that was the case? That's just a question. So there's something about the physical coming together that I think we miss now. He said, "Stop." There's something about that physical coming together that we miss. Because we allow all these other sources come in and they distract and they water down and they create abstractness. Right, the only thing that's going to be hard is a hard drive. That's good, brother. That is good. So we're missing so much now. We're missing so much. You know, I just that's just myself. That's just what I think and what I'm seeing. You know, how things. I look at like the Yahshua and his walking and healing people and it was physical. He was there. They were there. You know, think of that woman that had right, catfishing. Yes. Yeah, you get there. This Jabba the Hutt. She gave you a picture. She looked like, you know, a holy, set apart, just shapely woman, and you get Jabba the Hutt when you arrive. Y'all the brothers know you'd be hot. Think of the, you know, and I think of these things, like the woman who touched the hem of Yahshua's garment and was healed from her issue of never-ending issues. Can you imagine that today? She reached out and touched it, bill of divorce. See, but today, you know, people send bill of divorces via the internet. It's amazing at the level of abstractness. And this is why I think that there's so many problems in a lot of the churches today, is because there used to be a time where you fellowship with each other regularly, and now so much is done during the internet. So much is done during the internet, so that when they come, you're like, wait a minute, you're nothing like you were when your phone calls and your messages are nothing like what you're presenting. What I see in flesh, what I see in person. So it's just that. It's almost like we're everybody's plugging into the matrix, the internet. Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Snap and all these things that are just, and we think we know somebody because of a picture, a profile picture and a cute saying. And sayings every, 6 or 7 hours, you think you know a person because they put a saying up there on their Facebook. Oh, well, they're so wise. How do you know that? How can you test that? I mean, in reality, how do you know I'm actually building my house? How do you know I haven't hired a crew to build it? And then I get on the camera and pick up a hammer and throw some water on my face like I'm pretending like I'm sweating. And I'm like, woo, brothers and sisters, you gotta be about it. Wait, what's that? Ashy lips? What is it called? Snap?
Snapchat.
Oh, Snapchat. He said an ashy lips site. Snap. No, it's not chap. I can't wait. Snapchat.
Are you confused?
What is it called?
Snapchat. Because you take pictures.
Okay, Snapchat.
People.
Thank you. I got Instagram right though, right?
Yes.
Okay, and Twitter.
Yes.
And MySpace.
Yes, you knew MySpace.
Huh? I knew MySpace. Snapchat. Okay, they're saying Snapchat. Mm-hmm. Snapchat. So Sister Colleen said it's Snapchat.
Snap and then chat.
Oh, you snap.
taking pictures to chat with people.
So you chat.
So when you snap in the shot.
You chat using GIFs. You know when the people put pictures up there and the person is that?
No.
That's another thing I can't stand.
Pictures
This is completely off topic.
Like short.
When people talk to me via those little GIFs, you know those things where she does it to me. That crap pisses me off. No, I like I love you ones. Those are fine. But like some people, you ask like, "How are you doing?" And it'll show the guy like,
Yes,
I'm like, "You just give me a thumbs up. Does that mean you're good?" Now some of the people are funny. There's some funny ones. Like HOQ do some funny ones. But he'll say like, "This man be like," and it has Prince. That one had me rolling for a long time. But let's get back on topic. There's so much abstractness now.
But he knows you.
Yeah,
so
he knows. Yeah. There's so much conforming to this. Like, before we know it, people aren't even going to know how to talk to each other.
No.
We're headed that way. People are nervous in face-to-face meetings. I'm so nervous in meeting you. Why are you nervous? Well, I don't understand. What does that even mean? Whatever happened to meeting face-to-face? Thank you. Now everyone's nervous about it. Oh my gosh, you're so much bigger than you were on camera. What does that even mean? So all this abstractness, all this stuff has come into the face, and we say, "Oh, it's great," and it is. It's an opportunity for us to get information. But I don't use the internet as an opportunity to meet people. I don't use the internet as an opportunity to develop what we call friendships, because how's a person my friend? Like, you ever think about that? You go on Facebook and you look at people's friends list. You're like, these are your friends? You're saying it. These are your words. You said, I can look at it. See, I'm a very literal person, and they get annoyed by it sometimes because I'm an extremely literal person. I look at their friends list. That's what Tootie gets it, yeah. I look at their friends list. You're saying this is your friend because that person's on your friends list. Your words. I'm basing it off of what I see. That's your friend. How is that guy your friend? Or how is that girl your friend and you call yourself in the faith? Why is it that 90% of your friends are all in the world? But you say you're in the faith. And you're saying that's your friend because I looked at it and said friends. And they sent you a friend request and you accepted the friend request.
Make sure you look at the list and you're like, this ain't friend.
How many times have I done that? How many times have I gone to my friend list like, yep, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out.
You said something dumb, you're out.
Yep, I'll take the friend's request like, yeah, you can be my friend, and then I'll post something stupid like, you're out, you're done. We're not friends anymore, because that's saying something. That's a statement of your faith. When I go to your Facebook page, and I'm honestly about to delete my Facebook page because Facebook is a heap of attention craving people who are seriously in need of deliverance. I mean, Facebook is like rejection book. It's a bunch of rejected people who need attention. Let me post up something so people can like it. Okay, but you're only posting it up so people can like it. Is it transforming anybody's life? Is it changing anything? Right, birds of our feather flock together. And it's just sad. I'm looking at it like, okay, this is your friend. Okay, so your name is John Ben Israel. You got fringes, the beard, you got your fist pictures, like 200 of them. Ryder 71 said, will you be my friend? Ryder 71, you send me a friend request. You and me can be friends. And they'll have all and it's the same picture, just a different people. It's like, sometimes they change it up. They're like, and then they bring it down low sometimes. Please check yes or no. Will you be my friend? Yes or no? And I'm just like, okay, so these are all your pictures of you doing the same pose. In fact, and some of them I can tell you're trying to flex. I can see you got a little extra strain in your face. But it's why? I mean, had you honestly thought about that? Honestly, because I don't know why I think about this sort of stuff, but I do. Why do you post up a picture of yourself? Honestly, what is the end result of you posting up that picture? What do you want to see when you posting up that picture? That's the question.
People like the picture.
Okay, and what will that be? Why do you need people? Why do you the duck face pictures? I don't like the people be doing. Is that the duck face when they smash your lips together? Yeah. I'm like, did you eat something sour? You're constipated. You need to go to the bathroom. So why is it that people do that? I'm gonna post a picture of me over here. I'm gonna post a picture of me over there. I'm gonna post a picture of me climbing a mountain. I'm gonna post a picture of me on the bottom of the mountain. I'm gonna post a picture. And it's selfies. It's called a selfie. If you have to take selfies, I can pretty much guarantee you're probably dealing with a heavy spirit of rejection. And I mean a heavy spirit of rejection. If you have to run around, if you got, I mean, people got like 400 pictures. They have 400 total pictures, and 405 of them are of themselves. And then they get the, girl, you looking good. Brother, you looking. Girl, you looking. Brother, you looking. Girl, you looking. Brother, you looking. And I'm looking like, you are a seriously rejected person. That so much so that you have to
I said
trout mouth.
Oh, God.
I mean, it concerns me that this is what the faith has been. It's gone. If you're on my Facebook, you'll notice you don't see any pictures of me from this new time I put it up there. All the pictures, first of all the pictures that are taken, I didn't take them. You know it's a damn problem when your phone has a front-facing camera so you can take pictures of yourself. And y'all know what that happens. You take 700 pictures so you can find that one where your butt sticks out real nice. Like that's one. That one right there. My butt looking good in that one. Right. Oh, writer. I had my Facebook. I was one. What people don't know is when Facebook first opened, it was only for college students. When they ran their test, their beta test, it was for college. You had to actually have a student ID to log on to Facebook. My Facebook is from back then when I was in college, when you had to have a student ID to log on to Facebook. I just never erased it. So you see this stuff, and it's like people will be lovers of themselves. If you look good, why do I need to have everybody else say, I look good? Isn't it enough that you think you look good? So in reality, you really don't think you look good then. Right, it's not even your real butt. Stand normal. Stand straight up. That's right. Stand straight up and take that picture. It's all this heavy rejection. See, and there's no deliverance for any of it. People's deliverance, see, they keep toning those, they keep pushing those demons down by posting pictures up and hoping people like it. And then when not enough people like it, they pull the picture down. I'm like, you are heavily, self-indulgence is right. You are heavily rejected. I didn't get enough likes or comments. So I'm taking my picture down. Flatty Patty, built like sheetrock.
Oh, my gosh.
Flatty Patty, I never heard it.
I gotta use that one too. Flatty Patty.
Patty. It sounds close to your no acetol.
Yeah, no acetol. People have a deep sickness.
Oh, my goodness.
If I was a doctor, I would be like, listen, you have a serious case. Of what? No acetol. She's like, oh, what do I do to treat that? What? Squats, lunges, like 2 million a day. That's it. That'll cure that no acetol. Okay, back on topic.
He said,
But it's that this is the culture we live in today. What happened to the old paths? What happened to the time where he said, Father, y'all wrong. Whatever happened to the time when people like now there are those now I have seen some sisters who have no pictures of themselves up. You know, they have like a little, you know, like a painting picture or something like that. And so they're not drawing attention to themselves. And they'll be posting up scriptures and things that help other women. And I'm like, yes, I will accept your friend request. I will accept your friend request. But this woman right here sent me a friend request, and she's got 7,000 pictures. Literally. 7,000 pictures. I didn't know Facebook could hold that many pictures. And they're all, okay, not all of them. 6,500 of them are of herself. Narcissistic, rejected people. The old paths, you wouldn't be worried about that sort of stuff. I don't have time to sit around and take Facebook pictures. I barely have time to log on to Facebook. I don't have time to sit there and put a post up every 2 or 3 hours so that people can say, like, was it, or thumbs up? Thumbs up, like, I don't know what it is anymore. Right. Now they have a little heart caption. You can put hearts, and you can put smiley faces or sad faces or crying faces. And people's whole, yeah, like those. But and people's whole persona is based on social media. Social media. That's everything for them. I'm a face-to-face person. I want a fellowship meeting face-to-face. I don't know you because you posted some scriptures on the online. The devil could do that. The devil can post up pictures on scriptures online and pose. Right, children and grandchildren. If you look on my page, you'll see pictures of them and the children. You won't see any picture of me recent. The pictures that I have of me are, how long is my Facebook shut down? So I had it shut down for 8 years, my Facebook. All the pictures that you see of me are 8 years old, at least. What?
I keep my face in the book.
Oh, how about that? Sister Angela, get it, baby. Sister Angela keeps her face in the book. Right. I could care less. I don't care what people think about me. Well, you shouldn't have taken a better picture. For what? What is that? Is that really what we become today? And people in the faith, that rejected. And apparently it is. Apparently it is. I had a brother ask me, brother, how are we supposed to meet sisters, you know, in regards to marriage? What do you think the feast days were when people came together? That's an ample opportunity. You know, you got feast days like, Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread. You got 8 days to be around brothers and sisters. No, that does not mean you go and find a sister and walk off with her. It does not mean that. Oh, I like you. Let's go off in the back of the. No, you ain't going nowhere. Right. Tabernacles, an excellent time to meet people. But in this culture today, it's all backwards. What happened to the old paths? What happened to the old paths? Whatever happened to the time where people were, you know, your father helped you? That's gone. Everyone runs out there and they just cast their seed to anybody. Women open up their legs to anybody, receive any man, any arrow. Yeah, what happened to the father helping, you know, listen, we're gonna sit down and you want a husband, you're ready to get married. All right, let's look at, you know, somebody. I want somebody that's a good style. If I'm gonna give you away to a man, I'm gonna give you to a man that I know's taking care of business. Instead of a man that's got a Facebook that he's posting up. If he's got time to post up every 4 hours, he ain't doing too much. He's got too much free time. It's insane. The old paths. What happened to the old paths? Everything today, it says, do not be conformed to this world. Did we not just read that? Do not be conformed to this world. Do not receive, or where's my notes? Do not act in accordance with the set standards that this world has set for you. Do not, or standards, expectations, or specifications. Do not act without questioning. How many traditions do people accept without ever questioning it? How many? We were supposed to be a holy, set apart people, not a people of the world, not a people who takes the world's ways of doing things unto ourselves, and they can't figure out why it's causing disasters inside of us. Oh, I like that. Elkown, bless you, brother. Shabbat Shalom said people left the old path for the wide road, the interstate. The interstate highway, the road that's heavily traveled. They left the what does it say? The old paths. If he's posting up, he's posted up, not working. If he's sitting there posting, he ain't doing nothing. He ain't got too much going on in his life. I know that spirit, that Facebook, that spirit that draws you to Facebook. I used to be a Facebook fanatic. You wake up in the morning, Facebook. During the day, you're bored, Facebook. Go to sleep. Before you go to sleep, guess what? You gotta check your Facebook because you gotta see how people like it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, instead of getting instead of cleaning the kitchen, Facebook. Instead of cooking dinner, Facebook.
So she had the story too. Instead of cooking dinner, Facebook. Instead of cleaning the kitchen, Facebook.
And then you're like, oh man, it's 12 o'clock. I'm sleepy now. I can't go clean the kitchen.
Man, I can't clean the
Can I wait
kitchen.
in the morning?
Can I clean the kitchen in the morning? Sure, go ahead. All right, about to get in bed. You get in bed, the lights are turned out, and you see that glow.
Facebook.
You see the glow, you turn, you see the blue border on the top, Facebook.
I don't know if I get that one.
Like, God, are you serious? It's that much of a draw? I mean, Facebook's opened the ability up for people to go from house to house. You don't need to go actually walk into their house now. You got Facebook. You can know, and everybody insists on posting everything about themselves on Facebook. It's insane. Do not be conformed to this world. In order for me to know somebody, I need to meet them. I'm not going to know you by this. And I guarantee you, you're not going to know me by this. You want to know me? Come out here. Come out here and meet me. Make sure you bring some work boots, some gloves, some jeans you don't mind getting dirty. That's how you're going to meet me. You're going to meet me working. We're not going to sit down and have a cup of coffee. Wait, we'll have that cup of coffee. Then we're going to work. It's not going to be well, let's go and do this. Nah, I'm not built to just sit there and talk. We can talk while we work. You take that shovel, I'll take this one. We can whistle while we work, and we can talk while we work. You hand me that piece of lumber, and we can talk. We can discuss the word while we're working. And for a lot of men, they don't even understand the feeling that comes along with it. To actually build something with, right. You know, people have the best cure for overweight, insomnia. I can't lose this weight. You really want to know? You really want to know how to lose weight? Sisters, do you really want to know how to lose weight? I'm going to give you the key. Work. Rivka lost 40 pounds. She didn't run, jog, or lift up a single weight. She just worked. In the garden, I was just on top of the roof today. They were handing me 14-foot sheets of metal on top of the roof. Work. It's the greatest way to lose some weight. But when we live in the city, do we do that? Do we do that much work? No, we don't. We don't. Jakar 3, you asked me a question about the slope of the land. My land is actually sloped. All 10 of my acres. Right, Sister Morningstar said, I stay fit by gardening. You want to stay fit? Work. Garden. Right, Sister Betty Boo, and that's the culture we have today. Where before, like, husbands and wives used to talk to each other. Now they text each other. They'll be in the same room and text each other. And I've seen that happen. I've seen it happen where one will be over there, the other person will be over there, 20 feet from each other. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Benny Yagavri Israel said, he's a living testimony. I was over 300 pounds, size 50 waist, now down to a 40 waist, lost over 100 pounds and keeping it off. Hallelujah! I think his gym membership was just going outside. That's the greatest gym membership. Go outside. The old paths. But yes, your car 3, brother, my whole land is slanted. My whole land is sloped. And actually, it's actually worked to a benefit in some ways because water doesn't settle. It flows. I started walking daily now for over 3 months. Besides daily work. Hallelujah. Getting it done. The old paths. I've had a family member text me inside of my house. I was shocked. Yes. Like, you just texted me? You couldn't walk downstairs and come and get me, or you couldn't walk across the house and come and get me? It was too far? So you had to get on your phone and text me. Now I have to go and find my phone because unlike some people, my phone's not next to me when I work. I don't have a fear of putting my phone down in the house, walking outside, working for 3-4 hours, and my phone's in the house the whole time. Unless I'm listening to music or something like that. In that case, I bring my Bluetooth speaker and my phone, and then I end up forgetting where I put it, and I lose it. I have to listen to the sound. What happened to the old path? And how are we going to, honestly, how are we going to overcome these things, this economic system that looks like it's imploding, this virus, if our minds are still so entrapped into the system? Can you imagine if you would have came out? Imagine coming out. I came out, so I see this thing, but I see it as it's really going to affect these major cities. Oh, he is not happy. Yes, walking is physically draining. Hold on 1 second. He is angry. But how? Go ahead, you can't take him that way. How many people? How are we going to survive such things when we aren't taking care of ourselves? When we are not the example that we should be? Every one of us is an example. Every one of us has a requirement. All of us do. It's not just one person's job to do it. It's everybody's job. Let's look at Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. I'm probably only going to go another 30 minutes. We'll probably cut this at 2 hours today. Colossians chapter 2. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Messiah. That word rudiments translates to principles. After the principles of this world. You need to make sure that nobody's deceiving you by the principles that this world is giving you. As much as we like it, as much as it's more convenient and comfortable, this new path, this interstate, as Brother Elkown said, this interstate way of living, this fast, everything now, don't work for it, just hop on it and fly as fast as you can. That's not, it's not working, and it's dying, in fact. It is all dying. People are dying. People's lifespans are shorter. Uh-oh. Is he dirty? Why are we accepting the principles of this world? Why are we conforming ourselves to this world? Instead of being transformed by the renewing of this. Renewing this would allow us to further cleave unto the ways Yah had it to be before all these distractions. Think about it. I would love people to think about it. Think how much time you would have daily if you just eliminated one or two things that are fruitless, things that you've learned from this world. Think of how much more time you'd have for more productive things. I hear all the time, I get a lot of messages. How do you have time for the sisters? Well, here's what I do. I don't spend my time wasting. Right, that's right. That's right. Elkown said, read his comment. Elkown's comment.
They jacked up Sabbath, feast days, right and wrong. They don't know what sin is, 1 John 3:4.
They have no clue what sin is. Or the feast days. They don't know anything. Right, the microwave lifestyle is killing off our cells. Yes. In fact, when you put food in the microwave and you nuke it, what happens to the nutritional content of your food? It's not there anymore. You're eating empty food. We haven't had a microwave in how long? 6 years? 7 years? 8 years?
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
9 years. Yeah.
We haven't had a microwave for about 9 years. We don't use one. Because you're nuking the food. You're killing off anything. You know, the enzyme, the positive bacteria. You're killing it all off. Then you eat it, and you read the back of the box and said, wow, there's 6%, you know, or 6% of my vitamins are in this. And then you nuke it. Then you nuke it. In every other way, nuclear radiation is not good for you. So we're going to eat it. These are those things that they have presented to us that are killing us, and we just say, hey, it's okay. It's okay. Because it gives me the perception that I'm living. We are not to learn the traditions of men. Who said that you have to heat your food in a microwave? That's right. Cancer is running rampant, and we can't figure out why cancer is running rampant. Look at what you put in your body, and look at how you prepare it. Sister Angela said she hasn't had a microwave in 12 years. 12 years. I guarantee you, if you wouldn't ask her how she feels, she'd be like, great, awesome. Because that microwave lifestyle, which is, the microwave lifestyle is the same lifestyle as the fast food industry. They're telling you about it. Fast food. It's food that you can eat fast, that you can get fast. You can get it fast. Which means they're not putting the time into it to make sure you get nutritional content. Which means that at that time, see, you have to realize what's happening to you. At that time, you are such in a deep desire to eat that you're no longer caring what you're eating. You have let yourself get to a point where you have lost self-control. Because self-control would say, that thing's bad for me, I'm not going to eat it. That's self-control. That thing is bad for me, I'm not going to eat it. I know it's bad for me. I know it's going to contribute to killing me, but I'm going to do it anyways. And then you go, and you buy it, and get this stuff that you read on Facebook. It's not food. It's pink slime and all this other stuff and all these stories about what they do to the food and the fast food industry. I used to be a kitchen manager at Burger King. I can tell you nightmares of the times that the rats ate through the metal into our walk-in freezers, ate part of the box, ate part of the frozen meat that had been in there for like 4 months, and we were told, don't waste it. So you slap it on the broiler. Slap that meat in the broiler. Hey, it all goes in the broiler. But you know a rat just ate into that meat. And that meat comes off the broiler, you scoop it, put it on that bread, put it in the heater. Then when somebody orders that double cheeseburger, you grab that, you grab another patty, slap it on top of it, 2 slices of cheese, put it in the microwave, take it out, put that stuff that they call mayonnaise, which is not mayonnaise. I don't know what that stuff is. Back and forth on it, lettuce, tomato that's been in the back. This tomato's lasted for like 6 years. This is an amazing tomato. That thing's been alive for 6 years. Put it on that burger, put some ketchup, some mustard, slap them 2 pickles down, put that top piece on, fold the wrapper over, fold over, tuck, put it down the chute, and then there goes whoever grabbing that thing and eating it. And like, you know, a rat just ate through the box, through the plastic, and onto that patty. And you just eating it, just I was so hungry. You were so hungry that you moved in haste to fulfill that need of hunger. You lost control, you lost self-discipline, and now you're feeding yourself something that you know is contributing to your death. That is the ways of this world. Because they get us hustling and bustling and moving so fast that we don't even have time. See, it's all part of a greater agenda. You take the mom out of the home because she's either a single mother, which means that she largely has to work, or that they spent so much money and gotten so much debt that it takes both incomes to make it. The new path. But of course, if you lived a simple life, you probably wouldn't have to deal with that. Yes, real food rots. Hey, real food can't sit in there. You can't have patties that sit in there for literally 7 months. And it's okay. Real food goes bad. So all these new things that we think, so they take the mom out of the home. So who's cooking dinner now? Who's making dinner? Who's making sure that the children and the husband are eating nutritious food? Nobody is. So what happens? The mother's so tired on the way home, she picks something up from work, on the way home from work, because she's so tired, and puts it in front of the family. And that's what they eat. And then it starts to adjust the way, it adjusts your taste buds. It adjusts what you actually like. Just like children, when children are first born, if you give them something like grapes or raisins, it's really too sweet for them. Not when they're first born, but you know what I'm saying. When they have those natural sugars, they're really sweet. They're really sweet to these babies. Then as soon as they start having things like candy, they don't, that carrot's not sweet anymore. That apple's not sweet anymore. That pear is not sweet anymore because they've had the high concentration in candy. Same thing happens to us. We eat that fast food, our body starts adjusting to liking that. The same way our body adjusts to liking sin if you keep putting sin in front of you. If you keep intaking sin, your body's going to become comfortable with it and start wanting that. So we eat all this stuff. We eat it all. Now let's say we went to the old paths where the men worked. They worked hard. Many of them worked from their own homes, homesteads, farms, but they worked. The women stayed at home and took care of the family. They were chaste keepers at home. Doesn't that sound like the Bible? They were chaste keepers at home. So they took care of the house so that good food could be eaten. Listen, she said, Angela said her children have never had candy, soda, or chocolate. Woo! And I guarantee they probably don't have acne issues, random bumps and rashes popping up on their body because of what they're intaking. This is why the old paths, the simple, yes, boldly, bless you, brother. The simple paths, the old paths were the best way. That's where you had family, you had order. Everything where women didn't have to submit to other men because women were at home. They weren't at work, having to bust their ass at work for another man, and then come home and you tell them as a man, you better submit to me. She's like, listen, I'm in a situation right now where I'm submitting to them at work and I'm submitting to you. Who do you want me to submit to? Because when my boss says I better be at work at 7, guess what? I'm at work at 7. In fact, I'm at work at 6:45. So I can get ready to work. We don't see any problem with this, though. We don't see any problem with this. I do. I embrace the old paths because that's where you're going to have deliverance, freedom, free from sin, agricultural living. Yes, soda is liquid crap. We have been drinking soda how long? That's over, what, 10 years?
Even over that.
About,
You weren't drinking soda before you met me.
I wasn't drinking soda before I met her. I stopped drinking soda.
I wasn't drinking soda when you met me either.
And now that was 11 years ago. So it's been at least 11 years that we stopped having soda.
We had root beer float about 3 times in the past maybe 11 years.
We've had root beer floats 3 times in the past 11 years.
Yeah,
money. Stop some. These are the old paths. Follow the old paths. What's so wrong with them? Sister Carla, bless you, she said, I love the old pathway. It's beautiful. It keeps the women in their natural place. They don't ever have to acquire a manly mindset to make it anymore. They don't have to say, I have to think like him. I have to be competitive like him. I have to be ruthless like him if I'm going to achieve a higher level in my occupation. She's over there like, I got to raise these children that y'all blessed me with. I got gardens. I got to figure out, what dinner I want to make today. Do I want to use some fresh lettuce, or do I want to use some Swiss chard? Do I want to use rainbow chard or red chard or just green chard? Do I want to use spinach mustards, kale? What does he like in his salad? Well, he likes sensation lettuce, but he also likes black-seeded Simpson lettuce. But he also likes romaine lettuce. No, I don't. He also likes Great Lakes lettuce. I mean, these are the options. They're not sitting there, what's the matter? I gotta go to work today. She said, even if I have to live in a tent. And a lot of sisters have that, like, I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to get out. But because we keep pursuing these new paths that say, hey, have the fanciest car. I drive a 1997 Chevy Tahoe every day to work. And I'm doing the work on it. 207,000 miles. And I'm going to drive this thing until the wheels fall off. And I'll just buy some new wheels. Because I'm not trying to impress anybody. I feel that women have more power and respect in the old way. They did. And that power they had, was they had the power to literally change the spirit in the home by how they were. They didn't have to worry like women today have to worry. That's why a lot of men today, I want wives. I want 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Okay, you want, oh, great. But what are you going to provide for them where they don't have to go and work? I question, I'm going to be real, men who have their wives do all the working. I look at that like, listen, that's backwards. And no, we ain't cool. Because you got them doing your job. No wonder you want polygyny so damn bad. You want polygyny so damn bad because it's like, this is like you're running a business. These are your employees. You got them working, bringing you the money. Old paths. Right, that ain't no man. That is right. It's crazy. And this is what we call righteous living. And then we got the women who want to have these occupational jobs. I want to make my own money. Great. So when the coronavirus hits, you deal with that yourself. When you ain't got no food in your house, you deal with that yourself. The well ministry, yeah, right. Abortions, yes. The altar of Molech, sacrificing their children. Oh, Renee Stamp, sister, bless you, shalom. It's all right. And we got all this wickedness taking place on this earth, and nobody ever says, what's the answer? Now, you have to understand, when you get the answer, you have to understand people don't want the answer. A large majority of the people don't want the answer. They just want to discuss the problem. That's how people normally are. Let's just keep discussing the problem. Well, we have the answer. The only question is, are you going to do it? Just like Yah. It's either you're going to obey him or not. It's not like you don't have the answer in the book. You have the book. You know how to obey. Because when you're driving, when you see that cop on the side of the road and you know you're speeding, what do? You slow down. Because you know you are breaking the law. So you see the cop, you know you're going to get caught and you don't want a ticket, so you hit the brakes. But yet, when it comes to Yah, you have the Bible, you know what it says, and you read it, and then you go on and live your own life, and because you don't see the cop anywhere, you just keep on speeding through. Not knowing that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Looking at all the ways of man and inquiring in his secret parts. Yah is always the red and blue flashing light. He's always there. Always watching. Sister Cat said, and I will get another ticket. I mean, I know I did. I got pulled over this week. I mean, I got let off, praise Yah, but I got pulled over. I'm flying. And I knew I was flying. And then I see in the cut, because out here they be in a cut, their cop cars are camouflaged with the damn trees. Flying. And I caught him, but I caught him too late. And I was like, oh. So, I went flying past him. I'm just like, okay. And I saw him pull out. I'm like, it's just a matter of time. He said, pull me over. How fast was I going? How much is this ticket going to be? Damn it. So he followed me for about 2 miles and pulled me over. And then, saw my work badge and was like, oh, you know why I pulled you over? I was like, no. Well, yeah, I do. I absolutely know why you pulled me over. Because I'm not going to tell you why, but I know why you pulled me over. He said, oh, your brake light was out. I was like, but he was looking at my badge, so I can tell he was like, okay, you know what, He's like, can I have a license and registration? Because I'm smart. I'm about to reach into my glove box and get my insurance and registration. I do not want to hear nobody scream gun because I'm reaching into my glove box, okay? Watch this hand, watch, it's going into the glove box. Watch it. So I reach in the glove box, give him my information. He goes to the car, check my license, registration, make sure my car was insured. It's like, all right, hey, get that fixed and have a good day. Gone. I'm like, thank you, Father. But I know because I slowed down. I knew I was wrong. How many of us go speeding through life like that? Knowing you're in sin, but because you don't have the red and blue light behind you, because you don't actually have fellowship. That's another reason to have fellowship. Because you don't actually have fellowship, you don't have anybody to tell you, brother, sister, that ain't right. What you're doing is wrong. You have nobody to stand by and say, hey, that's wrong. That's wrong. And that's what we are. Iron sharpens iron. We submit ourselves to each other. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So that if a brother sees you off, he can say, brother, listen, let's just talk. I understand what you meant, but I understand what you're trying to do, but you ever consider this? But because what we consider advantages of being separate is nobody's there to check our actions. You said no? No what? Nobody's there to check us. There's no correction whatsoever. None. Nobody's there to say, brother, you're off. Sister, that's off. So everything, you can think whatever you want to inside your mind, everything's right. Again, the old paths, you remember, in the old paths, we were around each other. We were around each other. So if I'm off, somebody could come to me and be like, brother, you know, you didn't have to do it like that. But because we're all scattered, hey, you can do what you want to, and nobody can check you.
You think you're right, too.
And you think you're right. You start getting deceived. Start thinking everything that you feel is right. Yes, and we have to let the set-apart spirit guide us. The old paths. So many times, I see this thing so many times. We continue to argue and fuss about things that we can solve. You want to know the answer? People say, I got inundated when this coronavirus thing went big and everything. I said, you know what the answer was? You know, people were asking me, what should I do? I said, the answer was it's the same answer. The answer doesn't change now because suddenly now it's on the news and it's affecting, the chance of it affecting you is greater now. That's why the Bible says the prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself. And then somebody hit me up and said, when it came to that verse, you're not hiding yourself because the government knows where you are. And I was just like, are people that dumb? I'm not hiding from the government. I'm not hiding from what the hell is that? The prudent man foresees evil. He's hiding himself. The government knows where you are. I know. I pay taxes. I work. I had to get live scanned to get my job. So yeah, I'm pretty aware the government knows where I am. I have a cell phone. If you have a YouTube page, the government knows where you are. These people are geniuses. These people are straight up geniuses. They got technology right now. See how many nose hairs I got in my nose right now.
Yeah, now they got that new technology. They said it'll track people by the way they dance.
Right? Yeah.
Really, when you dance?
They have technology now that can track your gait based on how you walk. It analyzes it and it knows that's you. So even if you were to dress up and it couldn't see your face, your eyes, your retina, your eyeballs, it could base it on simply how you walk. It could say that's so and so. They have algorithms that they can ping your the cell towers and have your location. The government, you don't know what you're talking about. I ain't hiding from the government because I ain't got nothing to hide. Genius. But with this virus, the answer is still the same. Prepare yourself. That should have been taking place. Yes, Christian pacifism is a disease. To bring justice and the sword to the wicked. Your thoughts? Let me find my cell phone. Everybody thinks they're important enough for the feds to care about them. Right. Right. That is the truth. They think that what they're bringing is so important. The government's out to censor me. I'm like, did you just make that up? How do you know that? Because I put a video up and I don't see it anymore. I mean, I've done that many times. I had people say on my channel, "Oh, brother, the government's censoring me." I'm like, "Well, why?" They said, "Because I posted up a video on your channel and it's not there. And I posted like I posted 5 comments and they're not there anymore. I don't see them, but I know I posted them. They're censoring me." I'm like, "Brother, they're not censoring you." "Yes, they are. You're in denial." I'm like, "But no, you're not. Listen, please. Shh. On my comment section, on my end, since it's my channel, there's certain words that they basically quarantine them. where I have to approve the message. So you may have used a word that triggered that system to put your question in a I have to approve it stage. I see all 6 of your comments. I can see them right here. You're not being quieted. They're not after you. I know that you think that your truth is so revolutionary that the government's going to come and try to quiet you, but I can see your comments. Yeah, the algorithms, thank you. The algorithms have put your comments over here. Sometimes they label it as, it could be a spam comment. Sometimes they label it as, or you put a link in it. Sometimes it's just a simple matter of you may have said a word that I have as banned words, and it put it there. And here you are running around posting on other people's channels. I was on Yahshua's channel, and the government was blocking me. They don't want the truth to get out. No, I saw your comment. So watch. I'm gonna hit approve now. I approved your comment. You see it now? You see it? You're working with the government. Oh crap! Now I'm working. Now I'm working with the government.
Probably anybody that live in a country or live different has to be working with the
Right.
Or have to be everything. Have to be.
I'm like, dude, stop. That's your imagination going crazy. And honestly, a lot of people are suffering from extreme undiagnosed demons. I don't like calling it mental illness. I don't call it mental illness. They're dealing with undiagnosed demons that are affecting their mind, where they think that they are some sort of revolution. Yeah, they all think they're revolutionaries. I'm the next revolutionary. I'm giving you truth that nobody, in fact, the government doesn't want you to hear. No, it's the fact that you said this word that put it in this file folder that I have to then approve. That's what I mean by these people. That's why listen. I just want to live a quiet, simple life. Quiet, simple. I come out of her. Be ye separate. Follow the old paths. We can see. We've tried marriage the way the system has set it up. Doesn't work. Results: 70 to 80% of marriages fail in the first 7 years. There it is.
They divorce and remarry so often.
Yeah, and they divorce and remarry. They divorce this person, remarry that person. Divorce that person, remarry that person. People getting married and lasting less than a year. If you get married and last less than a year, you probably shouldn't be married at all. I mean, obviously, unless it's death or something like that. We got this madness. We got we try to do the financial system like they do it. Doesn't work for us. Doesn't work. We ingrained ourselves into it and try to have relationships like the world does. Now they're saying that statistically, you know, I am a subscriber to, for those of you who know these journal sites, EBSCOhost and ProQuest. You know what EBSCOhost and ProQuest is? It's where they keep a database library of scholarly journals. And you can read studies done from colleges, from individuals, from governments, all over the world that are in journal format. If you were in college, you ever had to write a paper, you probably had to use ProQuest or EBSCOhost to get your sources. But there's a litany of information from people doing studies. I read a study that said that based on how the current culture is, 70% of black women will never get married. Ever. 70% of black women will never get married. But of those 70% that never get married, 89% of them will have children. Do you see that number? That's astounding. 89% of that 70% that will never get married will have children, which means all of those children will be born without a father. And will never have one because that woman will never get married. So then we're going to have more young men being raised with no father. No male influence in their life at all. I don't care what anybody says. A woman cannot raise a boy into a man. It is an impossibility. She cannot raise a boy into a man. There has to be a regular male influence over that boy's life. It is an impossibility. You can't, there's no proof of that. These boys that are raised by single mothers end up being video game superstars, extremely feminine, sensitive, extremely sensitive, like sensitive dudes. They don't know how to do things that men traditionally did, like take care of a home, build. They're taught and raised along this idea of basically and traditionally make money. Why? Because the mother wants you to make money and take care of her. Sister Colleen said, I'm not a man, therefore I can't raise a man. Now, I know the tradition of this society. Remember, we were told, do not conform to this world. That means do not conform to its traditions. Do not conform, do not acquiesce the way it does things. Well, the way it does things is women are raising boys. Women are raising boys to be effeminate. Because there's no male, there's no father. Our homes have no fathers. And if they don't manage to take the father out by divorce, they take the father out by prison. They take the father out by having him work 3, 4, 5 jobs where he's never home to actually raise his son. It's a constant, continual pattern. So therefore, the sons are being raised up and they're not ready to have a family. They're not ready to raise a family. They're not ready to raise children. They're not ready to raise sons. They're incapable of teaching their daughters. They don't have the skills to even make it in a society at all. And then that boy who's untrained in how to be a husband, and untrained in how to be a man, untrained in how to be a leader, untrained, he now finds that little girl, little in reference meaning her mindset, not her physically, not age. I'm not promoting that. But he finds that young woman, let me say young woman, whose growth has been retarded by the fact that she's never seen a successful marriage in her life. Her mother and father aren't together. She has no clue what it is to have a male influence in her life. She has no clue what submitting to a man is because her father was not in the home, so she didn't submit to her father, and she didn't watch her mother submit to her father or her husband, so she has no idea what the word submission even means. Right, it is. I agree with that. The glorification of single motherhood is a bigger threat than ISIS. It will destabilize whole economies by itself. In fact, you know it's destabilizing this economy because if you look at the fact of, if you took away social welfare programs, you would see single motherhood collapse. If you took away the fact that the courts can take money from the man and give it to the mother, you would see a complete destabilization of single motherhood. Complete. It would be a thorough breakdown of this current economic system, which is this. Man, you impregnated her. You're going to pay her. But wait a minute. I have no problem taking care of my children. I have no problem of paying, funding my children's life. But why do I have to give what you say I should give? And why are you collecting interest on what I'm giving? And why is it that you can have mandatories on every other thing, but you have no mandatory on how she spends the money? You have criteria that needs to be met on every single thing. You can break down how I'm supposed to pay, but you can't break down on how she's supposed to spend it.
something.
Yeah, go ahead.
When it comes to abortion
Mm.
or carrying,
Hold on. I'm sorry, because you didn't come say this on the screen. But I want to read what this brother says. Truth Faction, that is the truth. He said, men don't want to be alone. We just want women to be proper. That's what it is. When you look at MGTOW, it's not an organization of men who decided, I just want to be alone. It's an organization of men who have seen how these women are and said, I'm choosing to be alone because if that's my option, I'll stay over here. If those are my options of women, I'll just be with myself. It's not a choice. It's not like they're saying, hey, I woke up one day and I just want to be alone. No. A lot of them are, look at who they. Now, I am in no way a supporter of MGTOW. None. I am not a supporter of MGTOW. But I can understand their premise. I can understand that. If I'm going to spend my money, why can't I spend my own money? Why do they come in and take what they feel I should have to pay to take care of my child? When we were taking care of this child with far less money, this child did not require all this stuff. Now, suddenly, now that we're not together anymore, we were taking care of our child. Let's just say, my child didn't need a new pair of shoes every single damn week or every month. They didn't need a new outfit every month. They didn't need all this stuff every month. Why do I have to pay $700? What the hell you buying my child? We weren't even doing this when we were together. Now, suddenly that we're apart, I have to fund them to the tune of $700 a month, which is not me funding my child, it's me funding her. And it's continuing the destabilization of an economy. And for those of us that are of color, our economy's jacked. We have no economy. We don't even have an economy.
You know, another thing with
That's why you got young men who think that it's that they want to spend their time, can't pay rent, but want to drop $3,000 on some rims. Why? And you go and talk to her. Hey, where's your father? I ain't seen my father since I was 5. I can tell. You didn't pay your rent, so you can get some rims. When if you had that male influence in your life, a responsible male who was raised by a father, because you can't have generations of men being raised by women, which is what we have. This generation, this young man was raised by a woman, and then he became a father. So because he became a father, he doesn't know how to be a husband. So what does he do? He goes out and sleeps with the woman because that's what he sees. That's what he's used to. That young man is growing up and he sees his mama. He's called 4 or 5 men daddy already. 4 or 5 men he's called daddy. He calls every man that comes in the house daddy. Because she's constantly bringing men into the home to care for her child. Broken system. What happened to the old paths? What happened to the old paths? This is why our marriages fell. Because we adapted this new idea. We call ourselves Israel. We call ourselves of the faith. We say we believe until that. Now, no, give me the traditions of men. Give me the traditions. I'm sorry, go ahead. It's like Alex Jones now. Make sure you speak loud enough so they can't hear you.
Really? No, I was gonna say, what you were saying. They make the men pay all the money for the children, saying, take care of your children. But when the woman is carrying the children and she makes all the decisions for the children. She has the right to get an abortion. She say, my child, because it's in my body, so it's my child. And then when it comes to paying, now it's your child. Mm-hmm. It's your child only when you have to pay money for it.
It's only my child. The only rights I have in that child's life is to pay for it.
Is to pay for it.
That's the only rights I have.
It's your child. It's when they need to get paid.
Whenever it's a decision that the woman goes, that's my baby. This is my baby. I'm the one raising it. I'm the one taking care. I know who take it to school. But then when it comes to paying, what are you going to pay for your baby?
It's your,
you just said it's your baby. Keep it then. It's your baby. Take care. I want you to take care of everything of that baby. This is the system. This is the modern day paths that we are choosing This is why with the whole mystery of Israel and we're of the faith, this is why half the people, 90% of people, I don't even listen to them. I don't listen to them. I'm not listening to you. And here's why. You have selected the traditions. You have conformed yourself to this world while still trying to reap the spiritual benefits of being Israel.
And then another thing on the other note, when you're talking about the MGTOW, just the idea of because how the system is and how they do women, people don't.
The well ministries, that when Paul's referencing that, he's talking about the governing authorities set up by Yah. Yah never Yah never set up the system that we have today. So the governing authorities were, within when Paul was speaking, and I'm gonna do a study on that. When Paul was speaking, he's talking about basically the church. The church. Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, with the MGTOW and stuff, like, that they said they just want like decent, or most people just want decent women and stuff. As I say, but another thing is, although that's true, it comes down to like judgment too. People don't want exactly what the Bible already tells you you're gonna get. If you're wicked, you're gonna get wickedness. Wickedness with wickedness. And now you're mad because you got some wickedness that you don't want to receive, but you're wicked yourself. And you just don't like the judgment of that. And I think that it comes down to a lot of people's problem. We don't like that we're getting exactly what we're supposed to get, because the Bible says don't think too much of yourself, but you do think too much of yourself. You think that you way up here, but you're not. So all them going their own way, all these hoish women's. When you were with that woman, that card you met, did you marry her? Half of you? No. So what were you doing?
Right.
Warmongering. So
right.
now you mad because you got exactly what you are.
Right.
It's so all this going your own way, you're going your own way because you don't want to change either. And if it's
right.
like how we're all required to do, if we were that way before and we don't want that judgment, then we have to start changing at least so we can get some mercy and then no longer make those mistakes to get those judgments. And then we don't want to do that either. We're just like, fine, I'm just going over here. But you didn't change your problem.
Right.
Why suffer? Why be alone? Just change your issue. Change your issue. I don't want that type of woman, so I don't want to be this type of man, so I can get this kind of woman then. Or and vice versa too, for women who say that. I don't want this dog man, so then change what you are, because you're a dog woman.
I think that's what women.
I
think that's what women need to do. Women need to focus on. Do you want to be a statistic? Do you want to be a statistic? Yes or no? Do you want to be just another casualty of this wicked system that you so adamantly say you hate, but have your hand and foot and your whole body in so much? That's hypocrisy. This wicked system, this wicked this wicked that, but you're in it. You're stirring the spoon of the very system you say you hate. Which what it means is that you hate it when it's not benefiting you, but when it benefits you, hey, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, we want to choose our judgment.
Yes.
And you just said something yesterday. I think you just said, and I was like, that's actually right. Like the Bible says, you reap what you sow, or how you treat people, you're gonna be treated. And so, you would treat somebody wrong right here, this person. And in reality, if they treat you wrong, you don't care about them treating you wrong. Like, it doesn't bother you, so you don't care. You're like, I reap what I sow. You think in your mind, well, this person get to treat me wrong back, and I don't really care about them treating me wrong because it don't affect me, and you think you're good. No, y'all's not stupid. You genius. Like, he's going to let somebody treat you wrong that you do care, somebody that you honor, respect, you want the love and attention from. He going to wait till it's that person. He going to say, now that person going to treat you wrong.
True.
Because you treated this person wrong, and if I would have let them treat you back wrong, you're not gonna care. You're
right.
Like, why would I care about them?
Yeah.
Because you already don't care about them. People you don't respect, you don't care if they treat you wrong.
Nope.
That's why you treating them wrong in the first place.
Right.
So he's gonna get somebody you do care about, and then let that person do it to you, where it's gonna
Now
hit
you
home.
hurt.
And now you are gonna hurt, just like that person hurt, and that person probably got treated that way because they did it to somebody else.
Yep.
So it's a cycle just continues.
Exactly how you do others, it will be done to you. However you judge, if you judge unrighteously, unrighteous judgment is coming your way. And people think that, well, if I judge Zion wrong, she'll judge me wrong. No. If I judge her wrong, it could be anybody who judges me wrong. You could be sitting in front of a judge one day and he judged you wrong. When I sat in front of a judge and he judged me wrong, I'm sitting there like, what the hell? No. Little did I know, when y'all opened up my eyes to my own sins and to my own faults. And he said it clearly as day. The Holy Spirit spoke clear as day. Didn't you judge this person wrong? Now you've been judged wrong. Judge, whatever measure you meet, when you judge, it shall be judged back to you. But it's not going to come the way you want it to come. It's going to come in a way, it's going to hurt like hell. And it did. It hurt me like hell. But then I look back and said, wait a minute, I judge people wrong. I've done some unrighteous judgment in my life. I judge people not using the Bible, but using what somebody else said instead of using the Bible. And that's unrighteous judgment. And guess what? I had to pay for it. And it hurt. It hurt. It affected me. It affected my life. Oh. It affected, oh, it makes me so mad. So people always think that this judgment that we're going to receive is going to come in a way we know, and we're going to see it coming from a mile away. Nah. When that judgment hits you, it's going to hurt. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing like when you know that judgment came from the Most High. Like, there ain't no way this thing could have happened this way, except that y'all let this thing happen because I am reaping what I have sown. When you think of the concept, reaping and sowing, think of that. What the Bible says, you will reap what you sow. Think about that. Now think about the things that you have sown in your life. Just think about the things that you have sown in your life. The sins that you have done, the things that you know you have done. You've sown a seed. You have sown a seed. At this point in time, we repent, we turn from as much as we can, and I just pray, Father, you see that I'm walking. I am dedicating my very existence to you. Please be merciful. I'm not saying absolve me. I'm just saying please be merciful when it comes. When that plant grows, I'm trying to dig up all the roots, Father. Look, I'm trying to get the roots out. I know the plant landed here, but here's the thing. If you have a handful of mustard seeds, and the mustard seeds are really tiny. If you have a handful of, even sunflower seeds, well, let's just say it's mustard seeds, and it's a windy day, and you just throw your seeds up in the air and it's scattered, and you realize, okay, I was wrong. I dare you to go try and find all those mustard seeds you threw in the air. I dare you. You ain't going to find them all. Guarantee you ain't going to find them all. All those seeds that you have sown are going to grow into a plant. That should put a deep fear when it comes to our willingness to just sin and do things the unrighteous way. Because that's a seed you're planting. You're just throwing it up in the air. And you're not going to be able to go and harvest and get every seed and say, oh, my bad, I made a mistake. No, you're not going to be able to do that. Many of those seeds will grow. And some of those seeds may land in your garden. And you may think that it's a good plant growing while it's choking out the good seeds you planted. This is why we can't play with sin. This is why when it says, be not conformed, don't learn the traditions, don't learn the way the world does things, you better put it in your mind and say, I'm not going to learn that. Because once you do it, how hard is it to get it out? Once you have let those things settle inside your mind, how hard is it to get it out? It is not simple. It is not a walk in the park.
And it's no one.
Sister Betty Boo said, heck, it'd be hard to just find one. Right. If you threw a handful of those seeds in the air, you might not even be able to find one of those mustard seeds. Great point, Sister Betty Boo.
Gotta get some new technology.
Yeah.
Radar vision.
Yeah, just like watermelon. When you eat watermelon, you spit them seeds out. What happens next year?
Oh yeah, you got stuff. Everywhere.
You thought those seeds just hit the ground and they're gone. That's what you thought. It hit the ground, it's gonna die. Next year, you got a watermelon plant growing there, and over there, and over there, and we had watermelon growing this year. All the watermelon we harvested this year, we didn't plant them. We harvested a lot of watermelon this year. It was all from the rinds, and when we ate watermelon, we spit the seeds out, and they were growing everywhere. I was like, oh shoot! I remember when I used to live in where I used to live, back in California. We used to grow cucumbers, and this is when I lived when I was a child. And we grew so many cucumbers one year that we grabbed the cucumbers. We had a brick wall, and we used to throw them against the wall. We had so many cucumbers, and I thought we thought we were getting rid of the cucumbers. We had they took over our whole garden next year. We had cucumbers growing everywhere because all the seeds landed, and they brought forth fruit. So when you are in that motive, when you're in that sin, just think about that. When you're sitting there staring sin in the face, realize this moment may determine what I'm going to harvest a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because you don't know when that seed will grow. You have no clue when that seed will bear fruit. That should be the utmost and cause the utmost fear of Yah. Likewise, if you walk in holiness, if you pursue the old paths, if you sacrifice this life that you think you got, in reality, it's not really a good life. The good life is what we're living. Coming out, being separate, growing your own food. This is a good life. I mean, we all left the other life to live this life. And we moved in haste to have this life. If you sow good seed, if you are scattering good seed that you want to grow, if you are living in righteousness, if you are not acquiring and living in your curses, if you are forsaking sin, if you say, listen, I'm transforming this mind. I don't care who don't like it. I don't care if it's my mama, my friend, my brother or sister in the faith. It don't matter. I'm going to walk this thing out. And even if the only person I have that's backing me up is the Most High himself, you're going to reap the fruit of that. You're going to eat from those seeds. You're going to reap those seeds. This is why this life, the simple life, the old paths, which were agricultural, are so important. This is why when you look at seeds, like, can you give me some see if I have any small seeds in there. No, not that. When you look at seeds, when you literally understand the agricultural basis of our people, understand and have a deeper level of fear when it comes to one small seed that you're planting. Okay. All right, so this is our cabbage container of seeds. You might see, yeah, I have quite a bit. These are just cabbages, different cabbages that we have. These are the seeds. And we have big containers. We have actually full gallons full of seeds. But these are the ones I keep in the house. Let's take a look at, these are collards, okay? Here's some collard seeds. We keep them in old containers that have a little spout, a little squirt spout, because they pour out very nicely. Okay, so we got some seeds here. You're not gonna be able to see these things. Okay, wait a minute. Can you see those seeds? Look how small they are. Isn't it amazing that a seed so small can grow into a plant so big? Isn't it amazing that seeds so small can feed, that little seed will feed your family? When you think of, like, even your children, They start off as a sperm. You know, listen, this is an adult channel, so we're gonna keep it real. Your children at one point, men, were inside of your testicles. I look at my children sometimes, I'm like, y'all came out of here? Y'all sure? Because y'all big now. And then y'all started off. I mean, I can't even see you with my eyes. And here you are, a living being in front of me, eating, working, running, talking, from a little seed. That means that every seed, men, is important. So stop throwing your seed out to all this land, to all this defiled land that is not conducive for the growing of your fruit. You should value yourself, men, a hell of a lot more than to give your seed to half of these damn people you've been giving them to 90% of these people you've been giving them to. Because it felt good. It felt good. Yeah, and you just cast your seed on that ground. And you're going to reap what you sow. As sisters, you are that ground. Why are you letting every dude come by and scatter seed on it? Why are you doing that? 99%. Thank you, Sister Colleen, for that correction. Why are you letting dudes just come by and just throw seed? Would you let somebody walk by your property and just start throwing seed out? You'd ask her, hey, what you throwing on my property? What you throw out there? He's just like, and walked off. You'd be hot. Looking at the ground like, what he throw on my property? What do he throw down here? I don't see it. See, he better not come by again. But you let every dude that walk by because he talking real good. Throw seed out there. Throw seed inside of you. And you can't figure out why your mind's gone. The Bible would say that land would be defiled. He says, do not bring the unclean thing into your gates, otherwise the land will be cursed. The land, you will be cursed if you just let people sow seed inside of you all day long and think you good. Think you're going to be okay. Still call yourself a queen. That's called deception. You deceive yourself to believe that you can just be defiled and call yourself and give yourself a title. That's a lie. This is why we were told to pursue the old paths, which are right there before us. What I get my yes, I've gotten some Baker Creek. If you type Baker Creek in a Google search provider, I have a video coming out my seeds. I have a ton. I have buckets of seeds. I got seeds everywhere. But Baker Creek is a good place to get your seed. But if you want to grow, if you're growing a lot, like this year, we're growing even more than we did last year. We're actually tripling how much we're growing than we did from last year. Main Street Seed Supply sells seeds by the pound. So you can buy collard greens or like this. This is my leftover Swiss chard seed. You can buy them by the pound. They're non-GMO organic seeds, and you can buy them by the pound. And I do. I buy my seeds by the pound. 3, 4 pounds, 5 pounds at a time. And partially, I want to give some away to help those that maybe don't have access to seeds or don't know who they could trust. I could say, hey, I can send you, a small packet of seeds so you can grow. I mean, it costs me a stamp. I can do that much. Put some seeds in a little baggie, put the bag in an envelope, and mail them to you. My Gardener is another good one. If you want to buy them in bulk, Main Street Seed Supply. If you're a bulk buyer, and if you spend over $50 of seeds, which is very easy for me, especially when you buy 5 pounds at a time, that's like 2 orders, 2 different kinds of seeds. It's free shipping, so you can literally buy like 6, 7, 10 pounds of seed and pay no shipping on it, which is to me a great deal, and they'll tell you their germination rate for their. Oh, brother Rob, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Ugh. Brother Rob, yours is the next one going out. But yeah, it's an excellent seed company. Excellent. But these old paths are so important. Let's look at another old path. An old path. Proverbs 24. Proverbs 24:27. I did this. This is what I did here on the rock, and it's amazing. I just followed the book. I just followed what it said, because it said it. I'm just one of those people. The book says it, I'll do it. Proverbs 24:27. Prepare thy work without. That means outside. And make it fit for thyself in the field. And afterwards build thine house. So when you go to a piece of property, before you spend all your time, money, energy on your house, get your gardens in. Get your gardens in. You want to know why? I had to spend time like meditating on that. Like, why did the wisest man in the world say that? That's obvious. One, you always need food. I mean, one of the biggest things that this coronavirus is going to change is our ability to get food. So if you ain't got food, buy some food. The story of Joseph. The story of Joseph was about, when he went to Egypt and he interpreted the dreams, was about famine. Yahshua or Yah says, let's keep this in mind. Let's turn to Deuteronomy chapter 11 real quick. Devarim 11. Starting at verse 13, and it says, and it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love Yahweh your Elohim and to serve him with all your heart. If you're not willing to serve him with all your heart, you might as well not. All of your heart. And with all of your soul. Your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. So you have to serve him with all your heart and your mind and your will and your emotions. All of it. That I will give you the rain of your land in his due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that you mayest gather in thy corn and thy wine and thine oil, and I will send grass in the fields for thy cattle, that thou mayest eat and be full. Food. He's saying, if you obey me, I will send you rain for food. You will make sure you will eat. You will not starve. You will not go without. You will have food. Food. So important. So when I turn back to Proverbs chapter 24, verse 27, and I wonder, why is it that we were supposed to prepare our gardens first and not our house? It's food. You get there, you start your gardens. So while you're building your house, your gardens are growing, because Yah's providing the rain in his season and watering the gardens, and they're growing as you're building your house. But you can't do it the inverse. You can't have your house, if you haven't gotten your gardens in and you're building your house, you have no food growing. So you get your gardens in first. Now, the original gardens that I had when we first moved here, I have none of them anymore. They've all moved. I moved them all. But I was growing food first. This is why the wisdom is in that. of start your gardens first, then build your house. Then build your house. An old path, an old way of doing things that we are not used to. In fact, how many of us, when we look for land, hey, you don't need a house if you can't feed it, right? Right. You don't need a house. How many of us, when we look for things, see, traditions of the world. Traditions of the world says when you look for property, look and see what the house is like. That's tradition of the world. Traditions are old traditions, are the old paths, where when you look for land, you want to see what state the land is in. You can build your house. You can, well, today we have so many options of homes. Shed homes, tiny homes, mansions, trailers, mobile homes, motor homes, manufactured homes. We've all have all types of options. Homes on stilts, cob houses. We have options for homes. But if you get yourself a bad piece of bad land, you ain't growing nothing. But yet, in our minds, you remember when Lot and Abraham were choosing land. They made their choice based on what was in there, what they wanted. This is why civilizations are built around watering, rivers, streams, and fertile land. Only in this modern age do we build out in the middle of nowhere. What I mean by that is we'll build in an area that has no water. We'll buy land in the middle of an Arizonian desert that has no water, has no ability to grow food. We'll buy that land. And then what happens when the pipes stop? What happens when the water runs out? I lived in Tucson, Arizona. They were constantly buying water rights further and further from Tucson because they're running out of water. Right, Gad and Reuben, that's right, yes. Land, what condition is the land in? I'll build my house. And sisters, let this be a lesson to you. Because your body is land. It's land. Men are going to be interested in what condition your land is in. I don't care what kind of house is on that piece of land. I want to know what condition the land is in. Earthbag homes. Yeah, there's so many options of homes you can build. What condition is your land in? Don't tell me about what kind of, I know, and I don't care. Let me see your land. Have you taken care of your land? How is your spirit, your mind? Are you willing to obey? I don't care if you can you can start a business all by yourself with your seamstress skills. If you ain't gonna obey, it's not worth me building at all. At all. And I'm not gonna waste my material doing it. I've done that before. I've wasted material building my house on sand. And when the waters rose and the winds beat on it, that house fell. I am now only interested in building my house on the rock. And if you ain't no rock, then to me, you are not worth me investing one screw, one piece of wood on building a house. Not one screw. Well, I know, listen, let me see your foundation. Are you on a rock? Huh. Okay. We can keep talking now. I don't care how big your ass is. I don't care how many titties you got. 6 titties, 12 titties. You can have a whole farm of titties. I don't care. I want to know this. Are you willing and are you going to obey? Are you going to do what the Bible says? Yes or no? And if you say yes, then you have just jumped into another phase where we're going to test that boast. So you might as well say no if you're not even sure. Well, I don't know. Then the answer is no. Well, I mean, I'll see. Well, then the answer is no. Well, I'm working on it. Then the answer, okay, if you're working on it, I might check that one out. But don't give me no crap. Because see, these old paths are important to me. The way our ancestors, my forefathers lived is important to me, which is why I make the sacrifice to live this way. I didn't do it for any other reason, but I want to have a closer relationship with my father, and I want to understand the Bible. I felt like I was missing so much when I read this book. Like, it's all about vines and seeds and sowing and reaping and sheep and goats, and I don't know what a goat is. I had never seen a sheep in real life. I don't know what seeds are. I mean, I planted my gardens before, but I don't know it to that understanding. What is the importance of land? I don't even understand the importance of land because all I live is in the hood my whole life. All I know is apartment complexes. I don't know I don't understand the importance of land because all I know is apartment complexes. All I know is renting. I don't understand the concept of having something to pass on to my children because all I've ever known is renting. The only thing I'm going to pass on is my debt. You want to know how I know that? Because the only thing that was passed on to me was debt. That's all I know. So maybe if I actually do something completely contrary to what traditional worldliness is, and what if I look and read this book and say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to put Yah to the test. I'm going to do what he says, and I'm going to see if I get blessed. Because if I don't, then I know Yah's a liar. And I'm going to damn well get on my channel, and I'm going to call him the biggest liar in the world. Because I did what he said, and he did not follow through. Guess what I learned? I learned you do it. He's more faithful than anything you've ever seen in your life. He will always keep his end of the bargain. When the bargain's not being met, I can always go and look in the mirror and say, it's you. You're the reason why that didn't get done. He upheld his end. Always has. 100% of the time, 1,000% of the time, 1,000,000% of the time. When a failure has always come, it's always been the person in the mirror. And I can look at him. It's your fault. It's my fault. I'm the reason. Because he's done his job. Always has. From the beginning of time, even before when I was a little inkling, he did his job. That's right. Father Abraham told Ishmael, he told him when he went to go visit him, he said, listen, that tent peg is bad. Take that tent peg out. Why? Because his wife, Ishmael, was gone, but his wife was beating the children. She didn't honor Abraham when he showed up. And he said, Ishmael, that tent, he said, tell your husband, tell your master, when he comes back, this tent peg is bad. Get a new one. Put a new one there in its stead. So she told Ishmael. So the next time Abraham came, there's a new woman in Abraham's tent. She comes out and greets him, bowed before him. Once he said, I'm Ishmael's father. She bowed before him, ran into the tent to make victuals for him. Victuals being food, refreshments. Ran back to him, said, come on into the tent. He's like, no, I'm not coming into the tent. But let Ishmael know when he gets back. Tell him this tent peg is good. Keep this tent peg in its stead. Keep it there. That meant the wife you have right now is awesome. Keep her. The other one you had, she was a bad tent peg. You can't build a tent with her. She's not deep enough. She's gonna pull up when it gets windy. Get a new tent peg. Do you really want the old paths? Because we read in Jeremiah that the people said, we don't want it. We don't want it. Do you really want the old paths? I know a lot of brothers that do. Yes, that tent peg will stabilize that tent. when it's a windy day and it's beating on that tent's not going to go nowhere. Abraham's like, listen, this tent peg is good. Your tent ain't going nowhere. You ain't got to worry about your children getting beat when you're at work. Sisters, I ask y'all this question. How many of y'all actually want the old paths? And how many of you like this current system that you're in? And be honest with yourself. How many of you are saying, I want the old paths because the old paths are better? And how many are saying, well, these new paths, I mean, they got weaves now, nails, and I can go and do this and go and do that and do this and do that. You can have either one. I'm just letting you know, whatever you choose, you will reap the consequences. You will reap the fruit from those seeds that you have planted in the soil. Because the book points it all out. It tells you, woman, how to be from beginning to end. It tells men how to be from beginning to end. It tells women, it shows the importance of covering for a woman. It shows the importance of men being men, leading. It shows the devastation. This world, you want to see the devastation? Look at the story of Elijah. You know what? We're going to go there. You want to see what single motherhood in the Bible got you? We're going to go there. Give me 1 second. It's in 1 Kings, I believe. Okay. 1 Kings 17. 1 Kings chapter 17. So I did have a sister ask me this question. She said, the old way, sir, from our ancient Bible. Oh, hallelujah. 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 1 Kings 17:12. You probably ain't going to hear this in your traditional, let's just keep feeding the women everything that's going to keep them single. You know it's a damn issue when women are coming in single and have been single in these ministries for how many years? And nobody trying to cover them because they still ain't coverable. They're not teaching the women to be covered. They're not teaching the women to change your attitudes, put aside the old the new traditions you have learned, and embrace the old paths. Embrace what the foremothers did, what Sarah did, what those of old did. What happened to the Titus 2 mothers in Israel? How are the younger daughters ever going to be raised when the mothers in Israel spend their time talking shit instead of doing what the Bible said in Titus 2? How are these young girls ever going to be marriage material when the mothers in Israel are not teaching them how to be wives, how to love their husbands, how to love their children? How? Who's going to teach them? The world? 1 Kings 17. Let's start at verse 8. This is what single motherhood got in biblical times. This is why the Bible had it where they left the edges of the fields for the true widows and the orphans. That's how they ate. This is why people like Ruth or Abigail, when they had an opportunity to be covered, they ran to the cover. They didn't sit back and like, well, I mean, I'm going to have to move and I'm going to have to, dang, what about my friends and my family? And she didn't do that. Abigail didn't do that. When the servant went to her and told her after Nabal died, when the servant went to her and told her, David's coming to you, she leapt up and got on her horse or animal, whatever it was. I don't think it says horse. And followed that servant to David. She didn't sit back. I'm going to play cute. You know, was it duck face? Looking constipated? She didn't do that. She said, whoa, an opportunity to be covered by a righteous man? No more Nabal? No more sin, wickedness? Oh, heck yeah. Deuces, left the land and everything. Throw up two. And rode out. Because she understood. Today, because we have this system, which seems like it's collapsing. It seems like it's collapsing. The Dow, look at the stock market. And what a lot of people don't know is as the stock market goes, so there goes your money. But for those who got some silver, some gold, you know, you all right. Got some land already set up. she like, I'm out. Right. I'm out here. Right. She didn't sit back. Well, let me think about it. Well, I need to know. I need to know some questions first. I need to know. She didn't do that. No, I'm not saying women don't question. I'm not saying don't question. You should question. Definitely question. But get the point I'm saying. But 1 Kings 17, verse 8. And the word of Yahweh came unto him, being Elijah, saying, Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth in Sidon. Wait a minute, am I right? Yeah. And dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. So he arose and went to Zarephath. And when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel that I may drink. First and foremost. How many men in Israel could go to a widowed woman and say, hey, I'm thirsty. Can you give me something to drink? And what would her response be to that? Just think about that. What would her response be if, brothers, you were like, man, I came to a city. I need something to drink. Can you get something to drink for me, please? And it's a widowed woman. Most men today can't even ask their wife to do that without her being like, get your own ass up and get your own water. Imagine going to a widowed woman and saying, I'm thirsty. Can you give me something to drink, please? And as she was going to fetch it, so clearly she just wouldn't fetch the water. She wasn't like, nigga, get your own water, nigga. You got 2 feet. She didn't have that attitude. As she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand. So not only can you give me some water, can you give me something to eat too? Famished, hungry. And she said, as Yahweh thy Elohim liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal. I want you to listen to this. You're right, neck rolling. Why don't you get your own? Get your own damn water. You got 2 feet. You got 2 knees just like I do. You got 2. I got 2. Look like a damn bobblehead when a car stopped. I mean, I be seeing those things when I pull up at a stoplight and I look at the dude's car and that bobblehead be like, I just want to yell at the car like, hey, stop his head. Damn. That thing annoying, but it ain't my car, so I gotta shut up. It ain't my car, so I gotta shut up then. And she said, as Yahweh the Elohim liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die. So she's got a son. And she's saying, there's only a little bit of food left. Because there's a famine at the time. There's a famine. There's only a little bit of food left. And we're just going to eat it and die. That's our goal. she's got no cover. But Elijah came. Elijah came. Her and her son are about to eat the last of their food and die. So and here's another thing. She knows that she's about to eat the last of her food and die, but she still revered Elijah. She still went and got him water, despite the fact that she knew all I'm about to do is eat this food and die. That's deep. That is deep. And Elijah said to her, "Fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and for thy son." So Elijah was like, "Listen, don't fear. Go make me the food, and then make yourself some food. You and your son. But she just said she's making a small morsel that her and her son were gonna eat and die. Now Elijah's saying, no, make me that portion, and then make herself some. She's probably sitting like, there ain't gonna be nothing left after I make it for you. There's not gonna be any left. Now let's go to the typical woman in today's society. Nigga, I ain't about to make the last of my food and give it to your ass. That's today. If I'm eating it. What about your son? I'm eating it. Oh, he ain't eating either? No, me. Okay. You eat your food then. If the servant or otherwise comes for me from a master who sent the servant, I'm ready. Oh boy. Let me get back to this. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. For thus saith Yahweh the Elohim of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail until the day that Yahweh sendeth rain upon the earth. Now this man just said, make me the food, and you'll never go without food again until this famine ends. Until it rains and the crops start growing, you will always have food. That's deep. Now, how many people actually, I mean, listen, even I'd be like, you want the last of, see, I was about to grind this cornmeal and feed my family. We're going to die. Actually, no, because I'm growing my own food. But, just play along with me a little bit. Somebody comes to you and says, yeah, make the last of your food and give it to me. I mean, sisters, think of how some of y'all might have acted. Like, I just told you me and my son are going to eat this and die. And here you are telling me that I'm good? No. And she went and did according to the saying of Elijah. And she and he and her house did eat many days. She had faith. She had faith. All this spirituality that people got today, where's the faith? Where's the action? Where's just the doing? Where's the faith? That's right, Elcount. It was a test. You took the words. I was gonna get there, but you be cheating. You're looking at my notes before I can even say them. How can you even see this? It was down here. He was testing her. He was testing her to see. And today, men do this today. They see a sister, ooh, interesting. Or you do like I do. I'm about to look at every single comment that she made in the last 3 streams and see what her spirit's like. And then I'm going to see if she got a Facebook, and then a Twitter, and a Snapchat, and then a MySpace. I'm checking it all. Then I may say, so tell me a little bit about yourself. It's a test. And most people today can't pass the test because they're too busy still trying to serve the traditions of this world. He said, sorry, I couldn't help myself. We got the same notes, brother. I'm telling you, we got the same notes. And the barrel of meal, we're in verse 16 now, wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of Yahweh, which he spoke by Elijah. Now you think the story ends there. That part is deep. But look at this next part of the story. We don't even know when we're being tested. That's the truth. We don't. We have no clue when we're being tested. I don't know when I'm being tested by my master. I don't know sometimes. I'm thinking like this is just it's just a trial. I could be tested. And not being tested by him because he doesn't tempt. The Bible says he tempts no man. You're tempted when you're drawn away by your own lust. That's when you're tempted. But it's your own lust that tempts you. But Yah watches. He watches. And it came to pass, verse 17, after these things, that the son of the woman, the mistress of the house, fell sick, and his sickness was so sore that there was no breath in him. I want you to take a minute to just think on that verse. Elijah's there. See, now imagine Elijah not being there and her son gets sick and dies. Where's the covering? Where's the deliverance? Where's the salvation for that child? He's dead. And there's no man there. There's no covering there. Because it wasn't the woman that brought that child back. It was Elijah, who apparently is in that house for some time now, who brought that child back. And today, it's amazing that there are so many sisters who have children who see the prospect of submitting to a man as negative when you don't even know, just like we're about to read the story, that man may be the cause of salvation for the child that you say you love. That man, that covering may be what saves your child. Let's read it. Let's see. Let's read it. And she said to Elijah, what have I to do with thee, O thou man of Yah? Art thou come unto me to call my sin to remembrance? So she didn't even go into her pride. She immediately put it upon herself. Are you simply here just for me to remember my sin? Is that why you're here? You came just for me to remember, for me to have to stew in the guilt of my previous sins? Look at the humility of this sister. Look at the humility of her. And it's like she's being tested throughout this whole thing. This whole thing, she's being tested. And to slay my son. And he said unto her, give me thy son. So now Elijah's telling her, give me your son. And he took him out of her bosom and carried him up into a loft where he abode and laid him upon his own bed. So Elijah took him under the loft and laid the child on his own bed. And he cried unto Yahweh and said, O Yahweh my Elohim, hast thou also brought evil upon the widow with whom I sojourn by slaying her son? And he stretched himself. See, he stretched himself. See, a lot of people today would look at that like, what the hell? What are you doing to my child? He stretched himself upon the child 3 times and cried unto Yahweh and said, O Yahweh my Elohim, I pray thee, let this child's soul come unto him again. And Yahweh heard the voice of Elijah. You see, sisters, the importance of having a righteous covering and not just any covering. Do you see why, as these times get worse, women are going to crave a righteous man? Because these righteous men are going to have works. They're going to have things that you can physically see. They're going to have done something, not just sat there running their mouth and talking all day. You're going to be able to see it. And Yahweh heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul of the child came unto him again, and he revived. And Elijah took the child and brought him down unto the chamber of the house, and delivered him unto his mother. And Elijah said, see, thy son liveth. And the woman said to Elijah, now by this I know that thou art a man of Yah, and that the word of Yahweh is in the word of Yahweh in thy mouth is truth. Now, do you see the story and how it was her and her son, and they were about to eat their last meal and die? And by the sheer fact that a man of Yah came into her life, not only did she receive life, but her son, who would have died. So it's almost as if that son was already suffering from some sort of ailment, but that son died. And due to the man that was in that house, the man of Yah that was in that woman's life, her son lived. Her and her son lived. Now that's completely contrary to the traditions of this world that teach women you don't need the man. You don't need him. And your children don't need him either. The father showed up when it was time. Yes, sir. That is completely contrary to this Western construct of marriage, which is remove the man out of the house, and if they can, remove the woman out of the house. Get everybody out of the house. And the houses fall. And we're looking in our culture, houses are failing. Women are not getting married. They're not getting covered. Children are being born outside of wedlock, outside of the safety, the security of a home, of a father, of a man. Women are running around, no direction, because whether they like it or not, that direction comes from her husband. That direction comes from her head. Just like this directs this. For a woman, that husband directs her. Now, that's completely against Western ideology also. A divided house won't stand. And you can usually you can tell the sisters that have a head. You can tell them. You can look at Sister Angela the way she speaks, and you know she's got a head, and he's a man of Yah. You can tell it. You can tell it. You can hear her speaking like, yeah, her husband, yeah, he's a man of Yah. Yeah, not even a question. See, this coronavirus is a situation. But I think that this coronavirus is only going to it's going to show how broken this society really is. But those that have strived for order and for an undivided house, you'll stand through it. Those that have come out and have obeyed what these scriptures have said, despite how uncomfortable it has been or how much they didn't like it at first. But see, the problem is that now everybody wants to come out. That's awesome. Now people are like, I see the benefit of it. I want to come out too. I want to grow my food. I want to raise my family. I'd like to my vision, because what happens is we get ingrained into the society that we are in, men. This traditional society that we are in, and we lose the vision that the Father put in us, and we start accepting the vision of this society. And then we lose our focus because we are so adamant on trying to do things the way the world did, because that's what they teach us is success. They teach us that is success. Do things the way the world does it, and you'll be successful. Have we not seen that work? It just doesn't work. It doesn't. Our families suffer. We leave nothing for our next generation but debt. We get in debt ourselves. We become a servant to the lender again. We are in perpetual slavery, perpetual servitude. when there is a different way. There's another way. It's not popular. It's, as Elk Count, my brother said, it's a very narrow road. It's not an interstate. There may be only one or two cars that travel through it. But see, just like when you move out here, and for those who live out, you don't want cars traveling down your road. You see it as a negative, like, damn, that's too many cars. Yeah, that was 4 cars that came down my road today. That was way too many. You want less. You want one car, yours. You don't want everybody else's car coming down your road. It's a narrow road that we are on, that we are traveling. It's not going to be accepted. The road isn't paved and has perfect lines on it. It's a country road. It's got potholes in it. It's got divots in it. Every once in a while, you have to come out there with some stone and put some stone down to cover up the potholes. It's the road less traveled. It's the road least popular. But it is the narrow road. Instead of that broad road, that highway that they spend so much time and so much attention and so much money on to make sure that they can get everybody on that road. And then what happens? They get so many on the road, you get in traffic jams. You spend most of your time sitting on the damn highway. Instead of being productive, you spend time on the highway, rotting away. Then because you're riding away and you're hungry now, you got to get fast food before you get on the highway because you know it's going to take you 3 hours to get home. It's a perpetual cycle. This thing is like a snowball effect. Once you dibble dabble in the world, that ball gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Before you know it, you're completely in it. And you don't know any way out. Right, Sister Cassie was right. You have to fill our own potholes. I like that. I like filling my own potholes. I like that. And I'm trying to say this. This is why, and I'm ending with this. This is why I have, and I show the sisters. It's to show you sisters that have no covering. And there's nothing wrong with being covered. There are brothers, there are strong brothers. But trying to engage into this society that's going to take you away from where Yah is leading you, the same way it takes men. I mean, I look back, I remember when I was young, I wanted to be a farmer. In high school, I wanted to be a farmer. I was part of FFA and all that stuff. Future Farmers of America. I took all the classes in ag and raised animals when I was, in high school. Well, I didn't really raise any, but I was around them when they got raised. Because I wanted to be it. But then somebody whispered into my ear, tradition and the traditional people whispered in my ear, there's no money in farming. You're not going to make it. You can't make it growing your own food. You know how hard it is? You know this, do you know that? You know, no. And then I put that vision that was given to me as a child on hold. I had the vision of living this life when I was a child. I got pictures as a child of me, writings of me as a child wanting to do this thing. But I was told there's no money in it. There's no money in it. There's nothing in it. There's no value in it. You're not going to make it. So then it became, I need to be a firefighter. I need to be, I want to go have a computer science degree. And I went through this life not knowing what I wanted to do because the one thing that I wanted to do was taken from me. I was told that I can't make enough money doing it. Money became the whole focus of getting a job. You get a job, you go and you college, and you get into all this debt so you can make a ton of money. And I was always that person like, listen, I don't need a ton of money. I just need enough to be happy. That's all I need. And once I pay off my land, I'm good. It is in our DNA. Elkan, tell the truth. It's in our DNA to tend the garden. When I was a child, my mother we had a garden in our backyard in the middle of the hood. And she was teaching me, remember I was raised as a Black Panther, so I was raised as having more independent thinking. But she told me, instead of buying food from the store, she wanted me to have a garden back there. So I grew the food that she wanted to buy. And she would pay me, she would double the price that she saw at the store. So she would tell me, when we go to the store next time, since you're growing green beans, look at the price of green beans. I will pay you double the price that you see per pound. Because she wanted me to learn business. So I would go to the store with my little notepad and write down all the things I want to grow and all the prices. And then I would go home and grow that stuff. And I'm 8 years old. So I had green beans and corn, easy stuff. Green beans and corn and collard greens and some cucumbers. And she bought a little scale, and I would roll the food and wrap it up, with rubber bands, and then weigh it for her. When it's dinner time, she's like, I need some greens. So I go back out there and cut them. I was all excited, 8 years old, pair of scissors, cutting the greens down, and then put them on the scale. I didn't know what the scale said. So she would tell me what the scale will say. It's 2 pounds. Well, how much was it at the store? It was, at this time, like 53 cents a head, for a head of greens. Okay, and you gave me 2 heads. How much is that? 53 plus 53 is $1.06. But you said you'll double it. She's like, yeah, so it's times 2. It's times 2. Okay, so that's $2.12. And she would count $2 and give me 2 dimes. And I would say, wow. And then I'd go to my little piggy bank and get 8 cents back. She was like, keep the change. And you think you're rich. You're 8 years old and you got $2. That's a lot. That buys you a lot when the ice cream truck comes through. That buys you a lot of stuff when the ice cream truck comes through. When they're selling the 25-cent big sticks. So I learned. So I had a love for growing food. It was so I just loved it. But then the world came in, and the cares of this world and the traditions of this world took that away from me. So now here I am. I want to grow food. I love growing food. I love the simple life. And here I am studying to be a computer science major. Because that's where the money is. So here I am chasing money. Money has now become my God. So here I am chasing this. And I don't want to work with computers. I mean, I enjoy working with computers, but not as a job. It's a hobby. So I'm chasing it now. And I don't want to be that. And I don't want to be a firefighter. And I went to school and got my bachelor's of science in exercise physiology, physical education, and then another one in nutrition. But I don't want to be a PE teacher, which is what I was studying to do. I don't want to be a PE teacher. I don't want to do none of this stuff. I want to grow food. I want to garden. I love it. But you can't make enough money doing it. Then, apparently, after hearing people like Pastor Fox and Pastor Dow and come out of her, you my people, and be separate, and that's what I was missing. I was missing the Father. I was missing Yah in all of this. I had the Black Panther, self reliance. I had that part, but I didn't have the direction from Yah. Then I got the direction from Yah, and it was, come out. Oh, those things that you were hearing were good, but without the Father, without Yah, without this book, it's purposeless. Now I have my purpose. Now I'm doing it. And you know what? I don't make a lot of money, but I don't need to. I don't need to be rich. I don't need to make, well, for me, rich is 50, 60, 70, but some people are $50,000 like, that's rich to you? Yeah, that's rich to me. Yeah, y'all brought it together. It was like a puzzle, and there was pieces all over the place, and I couldn't make sense of it. But as I started to follow him, the pieces came together. Oh, now I see the puzzle. Now my vision is clear. And without a vision, the people perish. And so many people perish because they have no vision. I didn't have a vision because I wasn't paying attention to what my master was telling me. And a lot of women don't have a vision because in Ephesians, when a man nurtures his wife, he brings her up to maturity. So they don't have anybody to bringing them up to maturity, so they're out there chasing whatever. Thus, you have lost and lost. And a lost person and a lost person come together, and guess what they have? Lost children. Now my children are growing food. Now this is the start of a generational thing. That's right. Simply Hebrewish, if you live simple, you don't need a whole lot of money. Everybody's got clothes. Everybody's got plenty of clothes. We got too many clothes. Everybody has. And Yah's providing. Yah gave you all the tools for his. He did. He did. And I'm in awe now, like, wow, what? I heat my house with wood. I mean, I go to work and people say, you smell like you have like the best cologne. Like, I mean, I had a person asked me yesterday, what kind of cologne do you have? I'm like, I don't, what do you mean? He's like, it smells like barbecue. Like, it's bomb. It's like manly. And I was like, I dried my clothes above my wood-burning stove. Is that what you're talking about? My clothes are wet. I hung them up on the line above my wood-burning stove, and they're dried off now. He's like, man, I'm going to do that. And then you hear that, people say, like, yeah, right, you ain't doing that. Why did dude do it for real? Why did he really hang his clothes over his chimney, or not over his chimney, over his fireplace that he never used, and lit his fireplace so he could have the wood burning smell in his clothes? Yeah, Jakar 3, yes. It's a puzzle. I wouldn't fellowship with them. That's just me. That's just me. I would not fellowship with them. Let me get back to. I'm not even in the stream anymore. Let me get back to the stream so I can read some of your comments. There we go. Okay. Man, I can relate to the scattered puzzle pieces of life analogy. I think that's what a lot of men are actually in. They know that the Holy Spirit is putting something on them to move. But a lot of times it's that you get the pressures and the temptations and the traditions of men. And the tradition, Yahshua was constantly going against the church at the time. The Pharisaical church. They were always questioning him. They were always trying to find something against him to hold it against him. That was their whole thing. You remember when they said, why are your disciples not washing their hands like the elders? Israel Lewis, I wouldn't. But that's me. I wouldn't fellowship with IUIC. I wouldn't fellowship with any of the camps, to be honest. But they said, why are you not doing what the elders did as in the washing your hands? A tradition of men. Tradition of the elders. Yahshua was going against the tradition of the elders. But when a husband and wife are the same young age, how does he bring her up to maturity? Aren't they growing up together? Well, that's a good question. Remember, in biblical times, that's another kind of modern day thing, where women went after men their own age. That's more of a modern thing. Biblically, women tended to get married extremely young, and they got married to men that were established. And since a large majority of younger men were not established at the time, they would get older, and then not older like our minds consider older, but they would be a little bit older and established, and then acquire wives and a family. Today, it's I want the man to be within 3 years of me. Okay, but that means you're going to have somebody who may have the same maturity level as you do. So it's going to be hard for that man to leave that woman if they're both 19. That's just the reality of it. So what women would do is they would largely go after a man that was older in these times. So that 19-year-old, see, today, traditionally, that's looked at as, far out. Like, that's a far out thing. And there are women who have a younger man, but he's mature. And the reality today is a large majority of men aren't mature. That's right. See, Sister Colleen said, I went for old men. My late husband was 13 years older than her. 13 years. And that was regular. That was an occurrence. That was a regular occurrence. Now, the only way usually a woman makes it later is she gets married later in life. And that's usually when you have the older woman with a younger man. But when women were younger, 19, 20, 21, they would go after men who were like Sister Colleen said, 15 years older than them because they were established. Well, what happens to that young man who's 18? Well, when he got 30 years old, guess what? He has choices. But in this society today, it's marry somebody your own age, marry somebody that's in the same boat as you. I was 19, he was 32. That's a regular occurrence. That's a regular occurrence. For myself, I would rather, when my daughters come marriage age, I would rather, that's right. And then Most High can put a maturity on a man that's far surpasses his age. But I would rather my daughters marry somebody established than to marry somebody just their age, just because for some reason that's what it's supposed to be. Because that's what we're taught in this society. And look at marriages today. Look at marriages today. Because people spend more time focusing on age and not focusing on the content of the individual. That's what people spend more focus on. Which may be why men have literally, as long as they take care of themselves, an infinite amount of time to bear children. While women have a block in which they're able to bear, and after that, kind of, you need a Sarah and Yah type situation. Because that man can bear children throughout time. And women traditionally, a man. Traditionally, I forgot what I was going to say. I had it, it was gone. But that's why I always encourage women. You have to know what the man is doing. He should be able to articulate. Today, men who are in their 40s have no clue what they're doing. 50s have no clue what they're doing. They still have no vision. They're still you see 35, 40-year-old men still sagging their pants. Still trying to be rappers. I'm like, dude, they still trying to be hood. Thugs. Like, dude, okay. That was when you were young and foolish. You're supposed to be in the faith now. And you still thugging? You still say, I'm a thug. I'll be a thug. No, you're 40. Stop it. Dear God. You're the example? And I'll tell you one thing. Where I was raised, the 40-year-old OGs, they weren't OGs because they said it. They were OGs. Right, they still wearing basketball jerseys. Right. You 40 years old. I mean, like I said, the 4-year-olds that I knew that were thugs, that were real thugs, they were thugs because they're 40 and still thugging because they spent 10 years behind bars. They put in work. They done shot somebody or people. They didn't just run around thugging, which is what we got today. 40-year-old people acting like they 16. Like, come on, man, for real. What's our next generation going to see when they see this? They're looking at you. They're listening to how you speak, how you talk. No wonder we lost. How about no talking or minimal talking, but show what you're doing so they can mimic that. That's why I suggested the idea of and I'm sure somebody had the idea before me. Let me say it because somebody's going to get their feelings hurt. I'm sure somebody had the idea before I did. I'm sure somebody had the idea. In fact, I may have heard the idea from somebody else because somebody's going to get their feelings hurt. That's how you got to say that. But the idea of people, of men bringing on younger men to help them. You be college for them. You teach them. One of the most important things I think a woman could do if you have a son is get your son under somebody that can mentor them, that can teach them, that can raise them up. Because, you know, in today's society, people think that they've done a good job because their child hasn't gone to jail. Well, I done a good job because my child ain't been to jail yet. Okay, that's not really a good job. That just lets you know how far our standards have sunk, that we think it's a success when our child doesn't go to jail. Let's base our standards on the old paths and not the new grading system that we have today. Yes, apprentices, that's right. So our young men can be 20 and 21 years old with enough skills to raise a family. And that would raise the standards in our faith. That would raise the level of men that we have. Right, yes. Does your child know the Bible and apply it? See, my daughters, and that's, I'm like, I don't know who they're going to get married to today. I look at the type of men we have, and I'm like, I'm not about to marry my daughters to no man, or no man to have my daughters when a coronavirus situation happens and he's trying to figure out how he's going to take care of her in an apartment in the middle of a city. I'm sorry, that's not happening. That is not happening, because they're being taught and being raised how to live this life. Sister Colleen said it. We really need, and we do. It's a dire need today. It's a dire need. We have so many older women who have skills, older men who have skills, and their skills are dying with them because there's no interest in the skills that they have anymore. I had that interest. I want to know. It is an old welder, a man who's been welding in his faith. I really want to know. I want to hear what he's got to say, because I want to learn how to weld good. I know how to weld, but I want to know how to weld good. I want to pass these skills to my children. But instead, because we don't have tribes, all these skills are dying with this generation that we have before us. All the skills are dying with them. All these skills are dying with the people that are so advanced, so much better than us. People who, there's nothing like picking the mind of a person who's made it through the Great Depression. Because guess what? Especially what we see now with this economic situation happening, how valuable would it be to have an older father or mother in the faith who made it through the Great Depression, who could stretch things, who could garden like you've never seen gardening done, who could sew, patch holes, do these things, and have these skills. Instead, that generation is dying off, and their skills are dying with them. Do people really want tribes? That's the next thing. Do people even really want tribes? And I would say no. That hurts my feelings. Right, knowledge like that would be you can't buy that knowledge. You can't go to a textbook. You see, they had a closer resemblance of the old paths, which was more self-reliance, self-sufficiency, not the welfare type thing we have today. It was tribalism. And today we're lost. Every man for himself. Everybody's trying to make his own path when the path has already been made. That's why I long for a mother. Obviously we're getting things done here, but I long for somebody to say, a mother to say, hey, I would love to move and to be part of that. Because, okay, great. Now my channel, I need you to start doing things on my channel that the mothers did, or do it, have your own channel, but show what it is that people that the older women did, so that the women today could see it. Where are the mothers in this faith? They're all talking about shit they got nothing to do with Titus 2. Oh, run. Where are the serious men who lead their homes? It's broken. And I understand that people want tribes until they get their first loving rebuke. I just experienced it with somebody. That's the truth too. People love tribalism. They love the idea of tribe until, no, you ain't doing that. Now suddenly, tribe done blown up. I'm talking about real tribe. It's the same thing as marriage. People get married and then they get their first rebuke or the third or fourth rebuke because they keep repeating the same thing. Now their feelings are hurt and I don't know if I want to be here anymore. Get out. The moment you say that, just get out. Don't even just pack the bags, get your bug out bag, and see you later. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this till kingdom come. I have and will follow Yahshua unto death. And then get to the kingdom and follow him there too. I am sold out. There's nothing left for me to go back to. There's nothing left for me to look back to. This is it. This is game point for me. When I was a child, my neighbors told on you, encouraged me. Right. When I was a child, I remember Mrs. Nava. That was her name, Mrs. Nava. She had a little son. She was the only Hispanic in a completely like blood neighborhood. The whole neighborhood blood and the Hispanic family. And ain't nobody messing with them too, because if they crazy to live in that neighborhood, they got something going on and you ain't trying to be part of. You end up disappeared. You end up buried underneath the rose bushes. I ain't trying to be no rose bush food. Them lights went out on the streets, or they came on, and everybody kind of knew, like, listen, the lights come on, you better be inside, or start going inside. I can't tell you. You got your butt beat by your next door neighbor. Then you get home and get your butt beat by your mom and your father. Like, well, she already beat my butt. Yeah, well, I'm beating your butt because I'm embarrassed that she had to beat your butt. You can do that? I can get, but this is two butt whoopings. Yeah, she butt beat you for what you did. I'm beating you because she had to beat you. She shouldn't have to beat you. You already know how we do it here in this family. I got a double butt whooping. Guess what? I ain't do that shit again. Okay, yes, I did. And I was more worried about my next door neighbor's butt whooping because she didn't play. You know your mama wouldn't agree. Mijo, you know, mijo, that your mama, mijo. I would go home like, what's a mijo? Boy. I heard that explanation before. I'm getting flashbacks. Right, then your dad be like, no, your mom said that Miss Nova had to beat your butt. Yeah. And then your mom had to beat your butt. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want your mama mad. You too? Guess what? You learn real quick what things that are worth getting your butt beat for and what things are not worth it. And I found out there was a lot more things that just weren't worth it. They just weren't worth it. Miss Nova catching you be like, Mijo, you outside? I'm like, I'm picking up your trash. She'd be like, I'm watching, Mijo. I'm picking up your trash too. Look. I didn't play. Miss Nova was no joke. But Megalito, that was her son. And Marissa, that was her daughter. They didn't play. Well, anyways, the community and the tribe, that's where things get built. The family, it starts in the family unit, then it extends to the tribal community unit. And that's where fellowships were built. Churches were built. Today, the church is a building where everybody goes to meet. Before, it was literally a family, and most of the churches were home churches. You had it at home. You didn't all go to a building, a church building. It was in the home. Kind of like how some of us do it today. You sit in your living room, you open up your Bible, and you study, and the husband may do a teaching amongst what he should be doing, a teaching amongst his family. I highly encourage every husband to be the main teacher in the house, the priest of the home. Your wife should not be getting all her edification and teaching because you come on a YouTube and snap YouTube on. Something's going on, because then, and I've seen it happen, that's where a lot of sisters who are well-meaning end up having a wrong affection towards this teacher or this brother because you aren't doing the job at the house. This stuff should be coming from you and you first. And then if you want to listen to me and give her the permission to listen to me or somebody else, then that's the case. But it should not, her teaching should not come from YouTube. It should come from you. You're the nurturer. You're the one who's the responsibility of lifting her and nurturing her and building her up to maturity. Not my job. Your job. The old paths. This is what the old paths are all about. This is what the old paths are all about. And I ask the question again, how many of us actually truly want them? Understanding achieving the old paths means that you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to want to make sure, as Sister Angela said like 2 weeks ago, you want to count the cost. Understand there is a cost associated with pursuing, following, earnestly pursuing the old paths. There is a price, and sometimes it's a very significant price. There is a cost to doing it. There is a cost. You have to make sure you're willing to pay it. You have to make sure that you're not that person who starts building his house and realizes I can't afford it, so see you later. Shalom, Brother Frank. Shalom, shalom. Only narrow wagons fit on narrow paths. You can't take much with you. That's right. You cannot take much with you. You can. I learned that from moving from California to Arizona. Had a whole 2-bedroom apartment and fit everything we had into a 5x8 trailer. A 5x8 by 5 feet tall trailer. And all that was food storage and basically preparedness stuff. And our clothes went into our vehicles and our shoes, and that was it. Left the beds, left the couches, left the washers and dryers, just sold some and then let the people take the rest of it. It comes with the cost if you want the old paths. Are you willing to pay it? Or are you so entrapped into the current traditions that you can't let go of those things? And if you can't let go, that's cool. At least you're honest enough to say, hey, I can't let go of those things. But understand, we have this virus. We have economic situation coming, and it looks like this could be a long-lasting thing. I'm not saying forever. This thing could be a long-lasting and have a deep impact. Shalom, Lion Pride from Seattle, Washington. Shalom, shalom. This thing could have a deep impact for a very long time. You may not recognize it now, but if this thing were to last 5, 6 months, a year, 2 years, never goes away. Right, they can't let go of convenience. That's right. If that happens, you're sure going to kick yourself for not pursuing the old paths. The old paths. With that being said, I am all out. I have some more verses, but I think y'all get the gist of it. The old paths are the paths that we were supposed to be following, that we forsook to pursue these more traditional, to conform to this world, when we're told to not conform to this world. We're told not to conform to this world. We're told not to be not conformed to this world. Had to get a lot of stuff in the ball grade. It was hard to let go, but I did. I've been blessed and more. That's right. You don't understand that the things that you're missing. Oh, Lion Pride, yes. But the David Journey Acres is near Seattle. Wow. Bless you, Burning Hearth Homestead. I'm all out. It is my hope that even if it's just one person that takes a look at themselves, goes and looks in the mirror and says, I can't keep being this. I've seen the warnings. Okay, I see it's coronavirus. I see the economic ramifications that are coming. I can see it. This is the opportunity that I need. Yah has been merciful and even giving us this much time before it fully gets blown. You have the opportunity now. Well, you can keep waiting. Either way, those that are doing are just going to keep doing. And those that are talking are just going to keep talking. Bless you all. I hope you have a blessed Shabbat. I thank you all for attending. I'm surprised I stayed over 50 people for over new. You know, let's keep being about our Father's business. Enjoy your day of rest. I likely will be on tomorrow night, but it won't be a long live stream. Just like I said, this one wasn't going to be a long live stream. We're almost 4 hours in. That one will not be a long live stream. But bless you all and just have a blessed Shabbat. Consider the old past. Bless you all and thank you to all the heads of households. Bless you, my brothers. I honor you all. I honor you all. Shalom. Shabbat shalom.